Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a quick editorial interjection to the beginning of another episode of the Gibberpish podcast. The new episode that you're listening to right now was recorded mostly on Wednesday the 17th of July. Unfortunately, in the 24 hours since the recording and the editing process, a tragedy has struck one of my favourite animation studios in Japan. Kyoto Animation, more commonly referred to as KyoAnime, was attacked by an individual who used gasoline to ignite the outside of the building and trap many inside. Since then, 33 people have died and 40 people have been hospitalised, with many of them in critical condition. As per the Philip DeFranco rules of not giving any of these dick weasels any more attention than they don't deserve, we won't really be talking about the individual, but I do feel like it's the right thing to do to shed light on a fantastic animation studio. If you'd like to understand why many consider Kyo Animation to be one of their favourites, I'd like to give you a recommendations list, so that way we can all share in the joy that this studio has brought to the world, and hopefully you can understand why so many are currently grieving the loss of life amongst a group of talented individuals. On Netflix right now you can find the film A Silent Voice, which is, to say the least, an emotional roller coaster. It is nevertheless an Oscar-worthy film, and frankly was snubbed a few years back. If you don't have much time but would still like to understand why this studio means so much to so many, A Silent Voice is a great place to start. Next up, also on Netflix, is Violet Evergarden. I've been talking about the show a lot on our podcast because it is, again, an emotional rollercoaster. Kyoto Animation do not pull punches when it comes to emotions. And the desperate lows of Violet Evergarden make the highs that much sweeter. Speaking of emotional high points, it's also worth noting that Kyo Animation produced the fantastic Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It's available right now in sub and dub on Funimation, and if you haven't seen this series, I would highly recommend it to you. As we've said, it's like taking a warm bath in an anime. And the last thing I'd like you to consider is a donation through GoFundMe that's been run by Sentai Filmworks, an American dubbing house in Houston, Texas. They've worked with Kyo Animation for a while now, and have reached out across the pond to try and help out with any of the fees that might occur from such a horrible attack. If you have some spare money and would like to put it towards a good cause, you can donate to them. Or if you don't have any spare cash, you could raise awareness by sharing the link on their Twitter. I'm sure we'll be talking a bit more about this in the next episode, but for the meantime we felt an editorial interjection was a bit necessary, given the horrific loss of life that's occurred. In the meantime, Dom and I would like to extend our deepest sympathies to those personally affected by the tragedy, and wish all those currently still fighting for their lives in hospitals a speedy recovery, as we sit down to talk another round of Gibberpish. Welcome to the Gibberpish podcast.
Well, me and Colin may have missed the cut-off for Belle Delphine's used bathwater, but on the plus side, we don't have herpes, and we're here to talk Gibberpish, aren't we, Colin?
We are indeed, and I was wondering, because you texted me and said, I need to do the intro this week.
I wanted to do the intro.
Well, what's on there? And I immediately jumped to Google and was like, what's going to be in the news? And there was a bunch of stuff. I'm like, nah.
Oh, motherfucker. I'm recording, what is it?
So one quickly edited out the podcast phone call later. We're back to talk Gibberpish.
Yeah, we're back talking Gibberpish.
Without any kind of herpes virus.
Yeah, I looked, as soon as I found out that she was selling used bathwater, I looked up just American laws concerning liquids containing some kind of biological material. Is that illegal?
At a certain point, yes, but it needs to become blood shit.
Yeah,
the usual. It needs to be good shit. You can't just bath water.
Something that you could clone someone with.
Yeah, and I had this on my list of things to talk about because it's such a weird story. If you're not familiar with this, Belle Delphine is a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, Instagram
model,
influencer, that kind of bracket.
Somehow money making god, because she thought, people want me to do porn. People are out there are thirsty. What do thirsty people need? Water. Used bath water. She's clearly some kind of business marketing fucking genius, because it sold out within a week.
And it's honestly one of the funniest jokes. I mean, there was when she started a Pornhub account, it was Belle Delphine that did that.
I don't fucking
she did.
I don't care.
She started a Pornhub account as a joke and puts videos up there like, PewDiePie goes inside me. She just eats a picture of PewDiePie. the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was like, you have marketed this so perfectly with like a vague tweet saying, "Oh, I think I might start a Pornhub account." Pornhub replies with, "Oh, go on, please. Like, you know, what do you got? Show us what you got." And immediately starts like shit posting on Pornhub. That's the funniest shit. I have my hats off to her because she knows what she's doing. I'm pretty sure her fan base knows what. I think they're all in there for the meme. I don't think I think there'll be a few people. Statistically speaking, there'll be a few people who are like, "Yes, Belle Delphine's sweet, tasty bathwater. Give me it, please. I need it."
Yeah, it's the people out there that are drinking it and vaping it that have got me the most concerned. all you fucking Kyles out there, why? What's your first response to? I'm gonna put this inside my vape, bro. Vape niche. Hashtag to the niche.
Right. We will now spend the rest of this podcast trying to devise a more millennial phrase than "I'm vaping this influencer's bathwater."
I don't think we can. I think it requires two people younger than ourselves.
I think
we need some fresh millennials. Some kids that are just turning 15.
Not us washed out old.
Not us 30,
The
almost
V1
30
millennials.
fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the version ones. We're unaware.
I saw this and thought, as long as everyone here is on the right side of this, like they all understand what's going on, I think this might be one of the best things that's ever happened in this year. I think it's just so ridiculous. It's so funny. It reads like a fucking Onion article.
Yeah, that's why I had to look into it, because it popped up on Twitter through. No, actually, when I first heard about it, it was on the Dude Soup podcast.
Right.
Alana Pierce was talking about it, and as you know, salute Alana Pierce. I was listening. I thought, this can't be real. This has to be some kind of fake article that they're just trying to bait people with. And then I, through an incognito tab, because I don't want this on my fucking search history, looked up Belle Delphine used bathwater, and the page where you can buy the used bathwater came up, and it was sold out. And I thought, okay, this is real. Why is it sold out? Yeah. How many people want someone's used bathwater?
And if you're wondering, for those of you playing at home, if you want to buy, or if you wanted to buy one, hypothetically speaking, well, first of all, why? I think it's like a 35 milliliter volume for like 25 quid or something like that.
Yeah, I think something like $35. So yeah, it'd be about 25.
Given that like the volume and the price involved, you gotta say, this is the meme. This is the meme. Everyone's in it for the meme. There's no way anyone is genuinely looking at this and saying, that investment's going to pay off.
Yeah. This is going to be a hot ticket item in a couple of years, I can tell.
Oh, what happens when it goes old?
I think it becomes
there's bacteria in there.
Oh,
there's stuff in there.
That's
going to spoil so bad. Do you remember, there's a couple of like rare items that appear on the internet for YouTubers who eat stuff for fun to like try and get their hands on. One of which is an original run of, it's non-glucose Haribo teddy bears, and they used a sugar substitute that causes extreme diarrhea.
Fucking hell! And people want to eat this.
People want to get their hands on it because it's basically a question of how long can you hold it down.
Right.
And everyone it started off as a meme with like the Amazon reviews, people saying, "Oh, I mean, it tastes pretty good. I can't really tell it's a sugar substitute." Until I realised I had a rumbling in my stomach and all hell broke loose on the toilet at the same night. I think it's down to about, people have written to like half an hour. Like you have a half an hour to enjoy the sweets, and then you're just going to empty to new levels of emptiness.
I mean, if you want to do a speedrun version of that, give me one of those. I guarantee in 30 seconds that shit's coming out.
I do remember seeing there was somebody who actually got their hands on it, and the guy just downs the whole pack at them. And it's like it's a full size, like not like 500 gram bag or something like that. Something like that. One of the Haribo big bags you get.
Yeah.
And he just downs the whole fucking thing, and within 10 minutes is on the toilet begging for death. It's so nasty. It's brilliant, but
you can tell how bad the food is by how religious someone gets afterward.
Yeah.
If you're in the shit and they're just going, "Oh God, please let it end. God, Satan, Jeebus, anybody, please.
Allah, you out there, homie, do me a favour.
Yahweh."
When you find new gods to pray to.
Flying spaghetti monster.
Flying spaghetti monster, please. May your tendrils pog my anus for 5 minutes, please. I just need it to end.
Those weird people that think Buzz Aldrin's a god.
That's a thing.
Yeah, people think Buzz Aldrin's a god.
Right then.
Was it Buzz Aldrin? What was the other astronaut?
Armstrong?
Yeah, Armstrong.
Yeah.
People think astronauts are gods for some reason. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty top tier level of humanity. Like that's not a nobody.
Yeah.
But at the same time, gods, it's a bit. Gods are kind of created, but I suppose you picked a good one. If you're picking someone who joins the military, serves his country, and then decides I'm going to fire myself into space on a rocket. That's a brave god to have. Yeah. Not one of the omnipotent kind of losers that just going to hang out in the clouds all day and I'm just going to have some fun, observe some people, watch people masturbate a little bit, and then do nothing for that kid with cancer.
Yeah, you've got to imagine deities have a weird day. Wake up, observe the many sins of humanity. Oh look, there's someone ill. I'm going to watch this weird guy masturbate in his basement.
And I want him to know I am judging the hell out of him.
Yeah. Judge not lest ye be judged. This guy's whacking off in his basement. He deserves it.
I want to ask you about this one thing. I saw Facebook have been hit with the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission in the US, for the, remember Cambridge Analytica? They were the guys who were going through basically data mining people's profiles, and they were data mining public profiles and behind the scenes stuff that was not public.
No.
And they have been fined $5 billion by the FTC.
Jesus
with
Christ.
a B. So yes.
Yeah.
The one thing that amazes me is that this is after negotiations. First of all, how do you get the clout to negotiate with the US government?
Yeah.
That's some serious fucking balls you got there.
Yeah, you must have a fucking great lawyer to just be able to negotiate with
What do they
state
have?
lawyers.
What do they have to be able to say? So you wanna fine us, or do you want us to open up about this thing? Maybe we find these pool parties you've been invited to.
Yeah.
We've got all the pictures ever.
Maybe we tell the world about Manuel the Escort, President Trump.
Don't
hate Mexicans that much, do you?
Maybe you admire some of them, and and they're
maybe one of them
abs.
comes and has a taco.
Yeah. Maybe he joins you for tacos every Wednesday.
He's helping you build a wall, all right.
Building something strong. But yeah, the first thing was, how do you get the clout to argue with the US government? Second, how do you smooth that over with the boss? Because they lowballed the loss at $3 billion. First of all, again, billion with a B. How do you walk into the office? If I walk into the office tomorrow and say, hey, Chief, I'm going to lose you $3 billion. And I don't know what Facebook's total revenue is. I know it's a different power scale, but if I say $3 billion to anyone short of the US government in general, I'm getting fired. And then for them to turn and say, well, actually, turns out it's going to be a bit closer to $5 billion. How does that guy still have a job? I know he's a negotiator, but at the same time, how do you negotiate your job after that one? It's fucking nonsense.
I think if someone came into my office and said, boss, and some weird hellscape that I would be a boss, someone comes in and says, oh, we've lost the company $3 billion. Oh wait, no, double check the figures, it's $5 billion. I think I would have no other recourse but to fire that guy on the spot. Just look,
I'm sorry, bro, but
you need to go.
Did you hear what you just said?
Yeah, what does Facebook have on the US government, and what does it have in its reserves? That $5 billion isn't that much. Because $5 billion is a huge dent to anybody.
Yeah, I don't think you can immediately just say,
unless you're the mouse, because they wiped their arse with $5 billion.
That's like half a Marvel?
Yeah, that's what.
Actually, how much did they pay for Marvel? I think that was $1 billion.
No, they bought. I think Marvel was purchased for little under $150 million. They didn't pay much for Marvel because Marvel was petering out at that point. Marvel was kind of on the downward spiral because they were, whereas DC had Warner Brothers. They've had Warner Brothers backing them up for years. So they've kind of always had that safety net. Marvel went solo for quite a while.
All right.
So they just kind of said, we're in a bit of shit. The movies are tanking. Our comic books are failing. Then the mouse just went, oh, here's this modest sum. It's $180 million. So, we'll take it. But you can guarantee the mouse was prepared to go much higher. But these, yeah, sure.
So I'm looking at some numbers right now for Facebook's actual value. They made $22 billion in profit.
Is that year?
From last year. And then apparently another $15 billion in revenues last quarter. So I don't think that so that's $15 billion in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
The only thing that's really messing with me here is it's really hard to there's not a good number. So far the numbers I've got is $623 billion. but that was after they lost 123 billion to that value. So it should have been about 750, roughly. But here's the thing: the $5 billion fine that they're going to receive from the FTC. After that, the stock prices of Facebook rose so sharply that they've added 10 billion to the market value in the last few days.
Jeez.
They actually won't feel that hit.
Yeah, they're not going to experience that hit at all.
They've released massive amounts of public or private data, and they will never feel a single thing. That's ridiculous. I'm just struggling to get my head around it. I'm reading it right now and just being like, you don't get away with this. I'm sorry, that's not what you can do.
So the FTC were investigating them for what reason?
It was they were looking into the fact that the Cambridge Analytica company were able to get access to private information and stuff that wasn't public.
Right.
So I mean, if you went through and just data mined what was there on people's public faces, that's fine. That's just that's publicly available information. If you're just going through and just recording it all and try to figure out what the market trends are. The fact that Facebook let them in to such a degree that you can see private information is what I think they're getting investigated for. That and their general involvement with, because Cambridge Analytica is a marketing company, so they are involved with helping tweak what people see based on algorithms. So they were a lot of stuff was involved with the Trump election. So making sure that if you were inclined and interested in certain things, that you would see certain political adverts. So I think they were involved there. So they've been part of the whole investigation into Trump's election. So
they, because that's a pretty grave, that's a pretty heavy offence. Data mine or looking through sensitive personal information. Yeah, that's pretty heavy to get. $5 billion, which is not a small amount of money. Yeah, to us regular fucking human beings, that $5 billion could set us up for life.
To Lord Zuck, it's not much.
Yeah, to Lord Zuck, that's just, wiping his mouth money. Not quite arse wiping money like the mouse would have, but it's not a small amount of money. And to not even feel the hit, I genuinely think the FTC might just say, okay, we're finding you more because you can afford it.
We just saw that you didn't react to the phrase $5 billion, so
we just made $10 billion.
Gonna be 7.
We just made $10 billion in the last 5 minutes, so we're not going to feel the hit.
Turns out when you threaten us, we only grow stronger. What now?
Facebook is the ultimate virus. You threaten the body that is inhabiting, it just becomes stronger.
That's genuinely disturbing. So moving on to something
terrifying.
Something less dramatic. California's big earthquake.
I did see some pictures of it.
I'm guessing you saw the footage of the pool. The pool footage is always good.
Shaking,
sloshing backwards and forwards. Yeah. That's how powerful this thing is. It's shifting water inside a container that's buried in the ground. Yeah, that's absurd. My favorite photo was it was a highway that got cracked, and it literally just a chunk of the highway just shifted 10 feet to the right and then just sat down again. I'm like, what the shit is going on in California? I mean, I know they're part of the Ring of Fire. Yeah. I've been thinking about this, and I'm kind of glad that someone else at work talked to me about this, because I thought it was just me freaking out of the fact that the Ring of Fire in the Pacific area, I'm trying to figure out how many people are there. I think about 30 to 40% of the planet's population is within striking distance of tsunamis for that area. If that goes off, that really starts to kick off in a big way, 30 to 40% of people are in immediate danger, regardless of whatever happens because of it. And this was just a 7.4 on the Richter scale for this area, and apparently that's not the big one. Yeah, when you'll feel the big one. Reminds me of the Rob Williams sketch. Yeah. So this isn't the big one. How will you know when the big one is? Oh, when the big one hits, wine country will now be Alaska. Don't know where the wine country is, but our American fans will be able to pick wine
that up.
Country is California. Wine County is just north of California. Basically, once you get out of the smog clouds produced by LA, you start getting into vineyards that go slightly more up north. It's apparently very nice, but also very expensive because it's a retreat for people from LA who want to just throw cash in it. But apparently, the big one's been overdue for about 40 years now. Yeah, and these things don't tend to last that long. So, yeah, we're talking about it as well. I said, because I was like, do people not realize how much money California makes? Apparently, it by itself is the 8th largest economy in the world. If that place gets smashed into dirt overnight by an earthquake, what do people think is going to happen?
Yeah, not much.
Like-
like not much is gonna whatever they made. It's just gonna stop for quite a while.
Yeah, well, it's not just like the stop in production, but how do you help? It's also a massive. It's like something like 50 million people there.
Yeah,
How do you help if the entirety of England was to just be smashed overnight? Like they just woke up in rubble, and no one like knew how it happened. How do you begin to help that many people?
yeah. There's something about being told that you live in God's Etch-a-Sketch, because at any moment you could just shake the board and reset the thing.
I like that God's Etch sketch.
That much just terrify people. I can't take credit for that. That's another Robin Williams joke. I could never live in California knowing that just at any moment there could be a 7.2, because we don't get earthquakes over here.
No, we had one little kind of ooh, and everyone freaked out.
Yeah,
Because it destroyed a chimney in Sussex. Who gives a fuck?
we just
Shut up.
slow your fucking roll, Sussex. No one gives a shit. We just get horrendously high winds and shit. But
Yeah.
if we get Hurricane Ballbag 1 through 4, then
Oh yeah, they started numbering them 1 through 4 because we were quite satisfied with the name Hurricane
Hurricane
Ballbag.
Ballbag, yeah, to the point where even the newscasters and stuff on BBC Scotland were going, and today Hurricane Ballbag ravaged the city of Glasgow. You can imagine, because it's Jackie Bird or something. I just turned to the guy in charge of the teleprompter, just going, "Really, Hurricane Ballbag? Is that what we're
We
going
had
with?"
to put that one in there. Did Gregor not pass muster on that one? Hurricane Gregor sounded pretty intimidating to me.
Yeah,
I just I mean, to be fair, we couldn't live in California based on the heat because the last
I'd
couple of
fucking
weeks there
melt.
have been absolutely absurd.
I think your tweet sums it up best. It feels like the entirety of Scotland just left the heating on.
It's
It's
disgusting.
ridiculous.
I actually don't mind heat like what we've got now. Normally it's a bit much. It's just when the air gets stale, when the air stops, that's when I have an issue because I feel like I'm breathing in the same kind of moisture. I mean, you're talking about humidity earlier.
Yeah,
You saw someone's afro grow during the course
in
of the
real time.
conversation. And I
Just in the course of walking from the place where I got my lunch to the place where I went to get my hair cut, some woman was having a conversation in the opticians across the road for the place where I get my hair cut, and her hair just like growing in real time. Fucking hell. But yeah, I can deal with proper blue sky heat. I can deal with that fine, because when you've played rugby in 45-degree heat, you can acclimatise quickly.
Yeah.
But I hate humidity when it's overcast, as your grandparents would probably say, claggy.
Yeah.
When everything just starts sticking to you. Every man up and down the country is walking, trying to unstick his nuts.
got that John Wayne walk.
Yeah, just trying to unstick himself from himself. I fucking hate humidity, because it's just it gets uncomfortable. You go through about 4 or 5 t-shirts in a day because you're just like, oh, it sweated the shit out of this one.
Yeah.
Eventually you just start cutting about in a fucking vest or something.
It's absurd. Last night I barely slept because I went to bed probably later than I should have, and I was like, right, I need to just lie down, and I felt great lying down in bed. It was nice, kind of cool enough to be relaxing, and then I woke up almost drowning in my own pillow from the sheer volume of sweat. I was like,
It's ridiculous.
oh, it's disgusting. So I mean, I'm really struggling to get more than like 4 hours sleep at a time, and even then I just wake up and go, it's not worth it. Try to go back to bed.
Just get up and be productive. Now for me it's more, I'll go to bed at about 10, maybe 11 o'clock at night. I will spend between the hours of 11 and 3 trying to fall asleep, because it's too warm, people are snoring, shut the fuck up, even the music doesn't help. Then because I lost my earbuds because of a
small child related incident.
no, it wasn't a small child, it was just I'm not used to having wired headphones anymore.
Ah, right, yeah.
So I was
You've joined the 21st century.
yeah, I always use sort of wireless headphones, but when I'm sleeping I've got the wired pair, because I hate hearing that beep noise from when I've got low battery.
Oh yeah.
It just wakes you up, like, oh, okay, because you'd be in my case I listen to a guy called John Hopkins. It does a lot of kind of electronic I don't want to say synthwave because I'm going to sound like a douche, but it's a lighter sort of techno music designed to make you go to sleep. I listen to that when I'm sleeping, and that will kind of lull me into sleep. And you just hear do low battery. Okay, now I'm up and it's 5:30 in the morning.
Because that's the thing, is that high pitched beep that's there, it is designed to get your attention
To
and it just
remind you
pierces straight through REM sleep
And
to get
just,
right into your brain.
Guess I'm up now. So yeah. Anyway, I had the wired headphones in. I went to take the dog out for a walk, and they got caught on the door handle.
Right.
And I just thought, oh wait, that's not me. That's just the dog's lead or something. So I kept walking, and I just heard this kind of pink, went back up, and it actually ripped the headphone away from the wire.
Holy shit.
Because it got caught, and as I just kept walking, I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep walking.
Yeah.
Went to pull it to get it unstuck, and I realised that's not the dog's lead.
Oh, this is... Ooh.
So I'm using these like sort of overhead headphones, and I can't move from side to side, so I'm just stuck kind of like a factory robot.
Yeah.
Sitting with my head leaning against the pillow.
It's weird that the path of least resistance was to just destroy the headphone.
Yeah, I mean, I've got plenty.
Yeah, that's weird. I think physics broke at that point. Like, nah, we're just going to do this.
It was
for shits and
very
giggles.
early in the morning. I think we're talking, this is before summer, so I was still at uni, so we're talking 6 in the morning.
Ooh.
I was like, up, that's right, got to take the dog out.
That's the exact time for something like that to happen, to just ruin the rest of your day.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, it starts with, somebody goes, oh, how was your day? Well, it starts with you breaking headphones, alright? So fuck off.
Shut up, woman, get away from me.
And then on the train, and then like 40 minutes later, I was like, I shouldn't have asked him how his day was going. It was a mistake.
I'm pretty sure someone did regret asking me how I was when I got to uni, because I just went, well, someone wouldn't shut up on the train, so I told them to be quiet. Then they started crying. It's not my fault a 5-year-old is too chatty.
Discipline your kids, bitch.
Exactly, rein them in, motherfucker.
As soon as the
You
headphones
realise
come
how
off.
very easy it is to get in that mood.
Yeah.
And it's the domino effect. It's one thing just fucks up.
I think it's especially with music, because like people who have headphones on, like myself, I'm a very insular person. When I'm not wanting to be talked to, I'm gonna zone out. That's how I spend my lunch breaks, is because I spend most of my day talking to people.
Yeah.
I'll spend time just by myself, headphones on, and I zone out. And if anyone comes into that zone to kind of like talk to me about stuff, because sometimes you get to have your lunch interrupted, that's fine, it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
But it's always a case of, right, okay, I gotta take myself out of the headphone zone. I'm trademarking that. Headphone zone. And then you just have to go, okay, and now what? But I would prefer to spend the next 20-30 minutes just headphones in, just zoned out, not talking to people, not
tune in,
thinking
just
about
have
things.
some lunch, recharge.
Yeah.
Do you get people not respecting the headphones? I get that constantly.
I get people apologising profusely because I have to take off the headphones. I really do.
I don't get that.
Oh, right.
I'm sitting there, again, it happens particularly in uni, which has now started bleeding over into my home life. I'll be sitting there on the computer, just scrolling through job listings, because
Unemployment sucks.
Unemployment's a cunt. Just sitting scrolling through, I'll go, oh, okay, I'll like this one. I'll be sitting typing away a cover letter or something, and I'll just hear, every so often you just hear, and then what about this? Dominic McDougall. Everyone's like, what? You didn't hear what I said, did you? Of course I've not. I've got fucking giant white headphones on.
Well, parents don't count.
No,
right?
this is brothers.
Oh, brothers. If it's a brother, that's an idiot. If it's a parent, parents don't count, because parents don't give a shit. Parents like, you're listening to music? Yeah, we're doing it in my house. So
yeah.
My house, my rules. Okay, no headphones. It's like, I do the same thing, because I buy big headphones, so it's very obvious. So I can say to people, do you not see the headphones?
Yeah.
Like,
because
this is not my fault. Like, you started a conversation, and people who have conversations as you leave rooms, fucking Christ, don't start me on that one. But if I have the big headphones on, you can see I have the big headphones on.
Yeah.
This is not on me anymore. This is you talking to someone who clearly cannot hear you.
Yeah.
It's not my fault anymore.
You've got the big noise cancelling fuckers that go over your ear.
They're definitely not noise cancelling.
I mean, you've still got the bigger ones.
I've still got the big yeah. When I see those, I've had some people try to talk to me while I've got those on across a road, because I'm walking one way and somebody was on the other side of the road, and we're trying to get my attention. They're like, oh, you didn't hear me? I'm like, yes. The headphones that are bigger than your head were on my ears.
See, what also helped, because I used to have black earbuds in, people would always talk to me when I had those in. Yeah. Because, I mean, you can't really see the cable because I've got a black beard. And the hair kind of covers it a bit. But then I'll turn, you can see the logo, the Skull Candy logo, and they'll still keep talking to me. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you listen to me? You're being very rude. I'm like, I think the headphones send a very clear signal that you're just not picking up on.
Actually, I've got my new
and I have
buds. Yeah.
White, grey, and red headphones. And I'm a predominantly black-headed man. Yeah. You can see them.
Predominantly.
And there's very, very little black hair left on my head.
But these are my earbuds. I'm putting them in right now. You can just see them. Like, I deliberately got these because they do stick out a decent chunk out the side of the head. Just so you can say, look, motherfucker, I'm like, there's something clearly wedged in my ear. Like, if I had something else in there that wasn't like headphones, you would not be doing this. Yeah. So yeah,
people need to respect the headphone etiquette, because if someone's got headphones in, particularly in a library, don't talk to that person. They're clearly getting in a zone.
No talking in the library anyway.
People don't respect the Edinburgh.
You're in a library.
People have no respect in Edinburgh.
I know.
Fuckers.
They put no respect on my name.
Come to my house, you put some spec on it.
The headphone thing baffles the shit out of me. What were we talking about?
I don't know. I went on a rant.
We were talking about ranting about the heat and the sweatiness, and it's been
how we could never live in California and the California earthquakes. And what we're talking about.
But the heat right now, I think we're at 4 weeks now.
Yeah, 4 weeks straight.
Scotland's starting to kind of twist. Like we're every day it's just a little.
Yeah.
It was at
You know
22
when you
degrees
leave
at night.
Yeah, you know when you leave plastic out in the heat and it slowly warps?
Yeah.
We're getting to that point in Scotland.
Something,
Humans are starting to warp.
Something's gonna break. And I
And I think when it does break, we're gonna get a thunder and lightning storm like you've never seen before. I think
we actually do get some decent lightning storms, because this is where this all started. Was a big high pressure system came in, and I got some great like visuals of lightning cracking over Linlithgow.
Yeah.
I actually got one hit exactly behind Cockleroy, so it flashes and silhouetted Cockleroy.
Nice.
And I just happened, I was playing 7 Days to Die again, like that's all I do these days. I happened to turn to the left and go, oh yeah, it's lightning, what's going on at that was beautiful. Anyway, back to killing zombies.
Just click.
Yeah, nature's beauty, whatever. The policeman's gonna vomit on me, I need to fucking shoot him in the head.
I think that's one of the great things about living in a very heavy sort of countryside area, that there's always open spaces that give you great backdrops to lightning. And where I live, right across the road from a sort of big wooded area, the Kenny Woods, there's just a big massive open field.
Yeah,
you always look over to there, you get some great lightning shots.
Yeah, my favourite lightning strike was it was during like a stormy night. I think it was a couple of years ago. Still living here with my parents, and walked up the road from Linlithgow after a night out, and was told parents, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna walk up. It's not that bad. So it's bad weather, there's a storm coming. I said I'll be fine. I'll make it home in the next like 45 minutes. Don't worry about it. As I hit, it's called Fisher's Brae, and it's just a path between Linlithgow and Bo'ness, and it's a public right of way. Walking up there, and all hell breaks loose, like full torrential rain, like we've been having this for the last couple of weeks, and then like solid lightning strikes all the way along the kind of ridge between Bo'ness and Linlithgow, and then all the way along further out to like Blackness and stuff. Gorgeous, amazing. Like I actually felt like when there's moments of like I'm in nature right now. And nature
could also kill me.
I could be easily fucked in the next 30 seconds, but at the same time, this is magnificent.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely. It was a very fun night walking home in an absolute shit show weather. But then obviously you get home, your mum and dad are like, what are you doing? Why are you out in a lightning storm? I'm like,
Gotta walk home.
I was drunk.
It was like when we had the really bad snow, or if you used to call it its actual name, because I hate fucking buzzwords like that, but when we had the really, really bad snow a couple of years ago.
Oh, the Beast for the East?
Yeah, that one.
What's wrong with that?
I fucking hate that name.
That's not bad.
It downplays what was a very serious event. We had the Beast from the East. No, people couldn't leave their houses for weeks.
Yeah.
I got 2 weeks off of uni and I was bored at my god. I got sent to the shop to go and get some milk, because apparently non-perishables are a fucking key item during snowstorms. And walked all the way out. I was bundled up, came back, and I was drenched. They said, what happened? I said, I was out in the snow. Why'd you do that? You fuckers asked me to go and get milk.
How did you think I was going to get it? Just run up the hill and milk a cow? What the fuck?
Just kidnap a cow from one of the many farms that adorn Bo'ness. That was one thing that pissed me off.
I walked through that for fun. That was, again, another situation of like, I put myself into a situation I really shouldn't have. Again, around Fisher's Brae, because it was like up to about 5 foot of snow.
Yeah, it got heavy.
I was walking through that up to my chest and was like, this is stupid. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, if I was walking through that, I think you'd see shoulders, neck, and head. I'm not a tall man. I think I'm 5'6", 5'8".
There were parts of that were up to my head. There were parts of that were about 6 foot, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I love it. And for me, it was just for shits and giggles. I knew what I would do to get myself back out of things. But there were certain points I was thinking to myself, yeah, this is how people die in snowstorms, because there's apparently there's a feeling of, from experienced mountaineers, that you just want to stop and take a break, and that's what gets you. The exhaustion, the hypothermia. And this is me nowhere near the conditions they are. But at the same time, I'm walking through this thinking, I do feel that little voice in my head saying, I think you just 5 minutes, just sit down, you'll be fine, and then we'll get back up and we'll come back at it. That is tempting. That is a very powerful siren's call. Like, I get it now. When people say, oh, like he was climbing up a mountain, he's been doing this for like 30 years, and he just sat down and never got back up again. I'm like, oh, I get that now. Ooh, it's scary. Like, it's the fact that it's sitting there and it's so easy and it's such a soft voice that just says, come on, just take a seat.
I had that going up and down there's a place, a sort of street in Bo'ness called the Bog, which is just a big steep hill, and because couldn't get cars out, we decided to take a walk down the town, sort of main sort of shopping bit in Bo'ness, and just walking up that bit, I was like, I could just stop for a couple seconds. I was like, nah, I need to keep going. I'll start when I get home when it's warm and there's soup. But just talking about the storm, from my house all the way down to where the local shop was, there was a path that I carved out.
Yeah.
Because the first time I did it, I thought, right, this is way too difficult. The snow is up to my fucking thigh. Yeah. It's getting difficult to walk. So next time I had to go out to the shop, I took a fucking shovel with me.
Right.
A little plastic shovel. So you just see at one point you hit a big dot of snow. And that just, there was a path that I cut out through that.
I had a good time actually with that one because we still had to work. We had stuff we needed to do in the lab. So I was in there and we couldn't get staff over from other side of Scotland. It was only, those were local. So I was kind of running the show, and they just said, oh, wait, what about the fans, the aircon units? I'm like, aircon's running fine. I go, no. Out the back where all the heat's displaced. I went, oh shit. Go around the back, it's stacked to the roof, and I had to remove all the snow from around the aircon units. And again, like, you just take the shovel and you just actually broke the plastic shovel.
Yeah.
So it was like, right, there's an easy way to do this, and you basically just kind of carve out the sections, like you take it out in squares.
Yeah.
So you just box like left in front of where the snow is, and then to the right, and you just lift underneath it. But as I went in underneath and then just lifted it, all the weight of the snow pushed down on the shovel, and it just snapped. And just sprayed plastic everywhere, and I'm holding like a shattered shovel in my hands going,
motherfucker, I will do this by hand in a minute. See, I was quite lucky. I have no idea why, but we had a proper military trench digger.
Right.
No fucking idea why.
Don't ask questions.
The stuff that was like serrated, and there was a bottle opener and stuff. Why do we have this? And it was one of those things where it was cheap.
Yeah.
There's a Lidl sticker on it. Why do Lidls have this equipment? I didn't complain.
It was next to the bakery. It was half off.
Yeah, I mean, we went and got some croissants, some baguettes, and one of those delicious cheese twists, and buy a trench sticker. Yeah, so that's what kind of kept me going through the Beast for the East.
I just to change away from just weird weather, because it's,
yeah,
I feel like all I'm doing is thinking about the weather. Every time I go somewhere, I have a conversation, and it immediately starts with, oh, it's hot today. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
It was hot last night as well. Like, it was hot today, hot yesterday. It's going to be hot tomorrow, probably. I mean, this is going to go on for a little bit. If you don't like it, thank climate change and fuck off.
Blame yourself.
So I just wanted to... one thing I think we missed from the last couple of episodes was Team 4-Star doing the Kai Part 3.
I haven't watched it yet.
Ooh,
I haven't watched 2.9 either.
2.9 is a bit iffy. I didn't like it.
I felt 2.9 was just them taking a deliberate stab at the whole Kingdom Hearts thing. Like, let's do episode 2.8 and 2.9, but I never really watched it, because you did send me a message saying it's not that great, so I thought, I'll give it a miss.
Most of it's a live action bit about them doing coke while writing the episode. I'm like, it's a bit meta on the nose. So yeah, I mean, when they did 3 is really good. It's the Android Saga.
Alright.
Their Kai Android Saga, which is, it's really fucking funny. Actually, I think you told me about you said you liked the Eric Andre reference in it. The We'll Be Right Back.
Oh, was that episode 3?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
That was episode 3.
Alright, cool. Then I have seen it.
Yeah, so you have seen it. Because you were saying, oh, there's the Eric Andre. I'm like, I don't remember Eric Andre stuff.
It's the We'll Be Right Back thing.
Yeah, I went and found it. I was like, oh, that's where that's from. Yeah. Like, memes become so prolific, you don't know the reference. And you're like, oh, wait, that's what that is. All right. So yeah, they did the Android Saga into the introduction of Cell, and Cell's musical introduction was originally what was it? It was originally when they did the main episode, they had him singing really creepily.
Yeah, he was singing the Perfect Song.
Yeah. No. That's when they introduced him as Perfect Cell. But when he actually appears as Cell Stage 1, it's something really fucking creepy, and I'm pretty sure it's Mr. Sandman. Yeah, it's Mr. Sandman, because it's him going, oh, Mr. Sandman, sing me a dream. And you're like, God damn it, you're way too good at singing creepy voices. Please stop it. It hurts my brain. And for this one, they have him whistling Smash Mouth All-Star, which is just funny, because he has no lips. He can't whistle. And of all the songs he chooses to sing, fucking Smash Mouth. God damn it. Although a good laugh. Do you know there's a mix-up of Smash Mouth's All-Star with Linkin Park in the end, and it's perfect.
I did not know that, but that seems peak 90s.
It's so goddamn good. It should not exist. It's, you listen to, you're like, you nailed it, but I don't know why you made it in the first place.
You nailed it, but why?
You put too much effort into nothing.
You kind of give them the Jeff Goldblum Jurassic Park response. You spent so much time figuring out if you could, you never thought if you should.
Yeah. I was just gonna hit him with the what's his name? Somebody own. Oh, the blonde actor. Fuck, I've totally blanked in his name. I'm totally stupid today.
The fuck.
Yeah,
Owen
Wilson.
Owen Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah, the wah
Just
wah
wah.
wah.
Wow.
Oh no, it's the preacher. Yeah, it's his the
preacher
wow,
fan just goes wah
wah
wah.
wah. I like to think that because we've got it set to go left and right on the pan, somebody just
Just
said
gonna get
on the left and right of the ears. So please enjoy this episode by headphones.
Yeah.
But his introduction is great. But I do like all the fact that you can take the Dragon Ball Z series, crunch it down into an abridged series, and then take that abridged series and then crunch that down again into like little pellets of. I mean, it takes a long time to produce, but they have said that this will be the first part of Kai 3. So there will be another part, which I'm wondering how far they take it. So do you take the Cell saga and put that in as its own little Kai, or do you take it all the way through the Cell games? Which I think they would do, because they've done up to that point in the main abridged series, which is weird to think of that it is its own series. But yeah. I mean, I think when you consider they put out the final part of the Cell games into like 3 massive episodes in and of themselves.
Yeah. I kind of think I don't think they'll try and milk it as much as theirs, because Kai cuts out a lot of this shit, so I think they'll try and keep up with that. So I think they just take it to the Cell games, then
take it all the way through to the end of the Cell games.
Yeah.
And then start fresh in, I think they said 2020 they're going to start doing the next lot of the Boo saga.
The tournament in the saga and the Boo saga, they probably got on to that.
Yeah. I can't fault them for that choice.
Yeah, I can't really say, oh, you're bastards. It's a very intense process.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of manpower. So, yeah, let them take a fucking break, because they've never really had a shit episode.
Yeah, they've been pretty consistent. I mean, the 2.9, I just don't like it. I'm a guarantee you there's the dislike ratio is going to be good.
That's the Garlic Jr.
Yes.
thing. Yeah, that's why I don't like it, because Garlic Jr. was just like, okay, we get that you want to give Gohan some showtime, but he gets his own thing in the Cell saga.
Yeah.
Why give him his own 4-episode mini arc in between seasons? It's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I don't see. I know that when originally Dragon Ball was conceived, it was going to be that Goku would be the big hero, and then it would hand off to Gohan. But then Gohan never really connected with the audience. Yeah. So they kind of, like, the editors of Shonen Jump were like, "You're going to make it Goku again." Yeah. Or else, or you're not getting more publication, because Goku sells merch. Yeah, Goku sells moves some goddamn product. I always kind of wanted to see what Toriyama would have done with it, though, because just left his own devices. Yeah, left his own devices. I kind of wanted to see what he would have done with Gohan as the main series the main protagonist, because Goku off the board, you've still got Vegeta there. Yeah. Does Vegeta become more of that, right, kid? You're your dad's son. He wanted you to have this. I'm going to help you. So you're saying like Goku dies during Goku actually stays dead. Yeah, Goku stays dead. Games, or after Cell games. So. You maybe have him doing the sort of King Kai things. Is what you doing? Like stand up, get back to the fight type thing, like he did in the others at the end of the Cell games. But have Gohan actually be the main character. Yeah. Because then that makes Vegeta realise that his rival's gone. Do I then step up and try and beat? Or be better than the kid, or I just help spend my time beating the shit out of a child? Do I beat the shit out of this 14-year-old child, or do I? Yeah, and when Gohan's in high school, he's only about 15 or 16 or something, despite being about 7 feet tall. Yeah, same physiology. But physiology just says fuck it. Yeah, because Gohan goes from being tiny to taller than everyone. I mean, same height as Piccolo. Piccolo's about 7 foot as well. Piccolo's a big dude. I don't know. Maybe he's got that. Maybe just Piccolo just went, fuck it, let's give him some Namekian, like make him stupidly tall for no reason. Inject him with Namekian growth hormones. I mean, he was 3 foot a couple of years ago. What happened to him? Don't know. I never actually thought about that. The fact that he has such a massive growth, like his spinal cord must be. No, that's why he doesn't want to fight anymore. Yeah, like he's in pain. His back is wet spaghetti. He was getting thrown through rocks when he was a kid, but it's fine because he was so dense he would just fly through things. And now he's 7 feet tall and he rocks around all the time. He shakes. He doesn't want to fight. If you want to talk about an anime that's getting some serious hits in the late season, Fairy Tail final season has been a weird run for me. Like just watching it as a long fan of the show. The animation quality has taking some serious blows to the back of the head. They've been having an issue where the show basically is ending on a war arc, where basically there's hundreds of thousands of people involved in fighting. All your main heroes are at peril like all the time, and there's no relenting on the pace of the whole story, and it's okay story wise. The only thing is that it's going to be a lot. I'm basically watching the manga being played out with voice acting, because I haven't seen any of the foot soldiers for the enemy empire moving. Barely moving. If they are, it's actually a reused asset from another part of the show, and I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? It's now at the point where this is the last 20, I think maybe the last 12 to 20 episodes that we're on. They didn't draw background characters. It's just a black cutout of a shadow. I'm like, this is how Fairy Tail ends with this.
Yeah.
Like that's a bad introduction. Like, you gave us the new intro song looks good. Everybody's still cast the same. It's all great. Right up until I realised that there's 3 characters who are background characters that somehow still have dialogue, but don't have faces. That's weird. Yeah,
that sounds like someone said, right, you're going to get to finish this show, but you're going to have a quarter of the budget, so you're going to need to cut some corners.
And it's really annoying because a lot of people who read the manga don't like how the manga ended. And I was really hoping to maybe make some tweaks to kind of fix things for the anime, because apparently Mishima himself didn't enjoy 100% the ending. He said he would have wanted to do a couple of things slightly different to explain different bits and pieces. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but at the same time, when you see that is how they're doing the animation, sometimes I look at it and say, oh, they're saving the animation for like big fights coming up later in the season. I'm like, there's 12 episodes left. Like, this is all cards on the table time.
Yeah,
and they've proved out some good ones. I was quite a big fan of Sting versus I'm not going to actually say who it is, or I'm not going to say his full name, but I think it's Arcade is one of the guys. He's one of the final bosses of the show basically, and to have Sting come in as like he's going to get the fight. I was expecting Sting to lose or get beaten up, and somebody's going to have to come in and save him. But to get to see Sting holding his own is actually a lot of fun, especially when the English voice is Michael Jones from Achievement Hunter.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he joined Fairy Tail ages back. He's been a big fan of the show from when it started. Barbara Dunkelman's in there as well.
She's actually in the main Fairy Tail show. She's
not in the main cast, but she is a character. She pops up for a couple episodes as a villain. You know,
right.
Oh, that's cool. It's like your little Roosty cameos and stuff in different places. But yeah,
I suppose they are in Texas. Funimation's in Texas.
Yeah, they are Houston. No, they're not Houston. Can't remember where they are. I think it might be around the Houston area. But they've made cameos there, and it's quite fun to hear them in there. But to have the show ending on quite a kind of damp squib, I'm like, man, this kind of sucks. Makes me want to go read the manga, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to find the manga legally. You can find it very easily if you want to go to some dodgy websites, but I don't trust my PC's antivirus that much. The Windows 10 and 8 antivirus is not the best, kids.
Yeah, I'd maybe get yourself some Avast or something like that, but even at that, it's not going to stop shady websites giving you shit through illegal manga. Plus, I think that's kind of how quite a few shows are going to go nowadays. I think the payoff is never really going to be as good as it is as you built it up in your head. I think people are just going to say, oh, this could happen, that could happen. It's just going to run wild. So when it comes to the actual payoff for the show, you're just thinking, I could have done that bit. Yeah. I would have done it this way. But ultimately, you just got to respect their choice. Yeah, the coulda, woulda, shouldas will ultimately ruin every show you can think of. And I gotta say, if you're the guy writing My Hero Academia, you must be shitting yourself right now. Because you've just watched, you probably saw Naruto end. You probably saw Bleach get basically fucking canned halfway through. Yeah, Bleach was a weird show. Dragon Ball ended kind of, I mean, if Z had ended 2 episodes short, I think it would have been great. Yeah, but then again, Z gave us the first look at Pan with the last couple episodes. But that's true. I would have taken Pan because she actually became a character in Super, which don't even fucking compare them to GT. GT was a blemish. What? Yeah, that thing. And then there was what are you talking about? Exactly. It didn't happen. Remember. It didn't happen. Then there was what's his name? Ub was okay. Ub was just unnecessary. It was a nice little character thrown at the end to be like, oh, look, like there's some redemption. If you're a horrible person, even if you're an absolute monster, there's a chance you can be redeemed. You may need to die and be reincarnated as a child in Africa, but you may be redeemed. Yeah, it was a bit weird because they just introduced these 2 new characters, and you thought, right, is Dragon Ball GT? What is Dragon Ball GT? Is it going to be a thing or what's the next thing after Dragon Ball Z is what most people thought.
Yeah.
I thought, well, it's Goku training up the next generation, and that could be pretty cool, but I don't want to see that. I just kind of want to think that's what Goku's doing. But then when GT came along, you're just thinking, okay, this is what we're doing. Goku's a kid again. What, could you not get Sean Schimmel? Did Sean Schimmel just go, nah, I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
Toriyama-san hasn't got his pen mark on this. I don't want fucking anything to do with it. But now it's kind of being canonised.
What is?
Dragon Ball GT.
No, it's out. It's long gone.
No, the manga.
The manga.
They're doing the manga again. I don't know if it's official, but someone who worked on Super is continuing the manga.
Okay.
I
just keep going with Super. Just let it run.
Just if you've got
have GT be an alternate universe, that's fine. Nobody gives a shit.
Have that be a sort of an Avengers. He made the wish. He didn't make the wish. Bullshit. He became a child, and now you've got the child timeline. Zelda, this shit. Yeah, I actually saw that the dub for that is, or the dub for Super is getting kind of close to the end, because they're getting to the final episodes of the, I'm going to butcher this, is it the Universal Tournament arc?
Yes.
Yeah, and they're getting very close to having Goku go full Ultra Instinct, or as they call it in the English dub, autonomous Ultra Instinct.
Oh no.
But I think they're taking the direct translation from the Japanese.
Alright, so it's just a different translation.
Yeah, it still means Ultra Instinct, but they keep calling it autonomous Ultra Instinct. But it doesn't really sound as cool.
Yeah. I actually just saw that it was Caitlin Glass who's the voice for Vados, which is the other universe version of Whis.
Oh yeah,
it's the female version of Whis, the one that runs around with Champa. She just did her last voice. Or she just did her last lines, and she's so fucking good in that role. Yeah, she's good. Vados, her voice actress, is really good. I hate the voice actor that they got for Champa. Right. He sounds like at any point he's just going to throw a big massive strop. I don't like him. He sounds way too whiny. But that's the whole point of the character. When it fits with Champa, though,
yeah.
I like her. A friend introduced me to the Oron High School Host Club. That is absolutely hilarious. Like slice of life anime, ridiculous rom-com type thing. But at the same time, great voice cast. It's nonsense. Caitlin Glass is the main voice for that, and I saw that it was her. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, because once you start playing the Funimation game where you try and tag where different artists have done different jobs, you just start going ping, 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 and you realise you connect all the dots to their career, and you think, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense now. Right, got it. So hearing her as Vados actually reminds me a lot of other roles she's done, and I'm like, he was the perfect casting choice for that. I also I've finished Neon Genesis Evangelion. Okay, this is what I was actually hoping you were going to bring it on to, because you said you were struggling, or you just hadn't found the time to get to the last couple of episodes. I finished it this morning, and then walked up to do the podcast, and this I'm still pretty much in the same place as where I was last episode that we did when we talked about this, and it's again, it's still really hard to grade it on the curve of modern anime. If I watch it now, there's parts of it I really don't enjoy, and I want to talk about the last two episodes, but I'll leave that to the side for now. One of the episodes, though, for me, it's called Tears, because that's what Netflix had it listed under, for the show. I think it's Rhea 3, I'm trying to remember what the actual name of it is, but it's one of the characters. It's a big revelation about one of the characters, but the actual the episode itself is fantastic. It's the best part of the series so far, and it's just all about sacrifice, self, and all that, and it nails what should be one of the hardest parts of the show. And I think that's like episode 23, and in episode 24 you have the last fight between I can't remember, Shinji and the one of the aliens, or one of the angels, and I think that's where it should have ended. But for some fucking reason, there's the last two episodes that get tagged on at the end, and it is honestly the most artistic, wanky bullshit I've ever seen. Yeah. I've heard that the end of Evangelion is a bit weird, and some people really struggle to kind of put it in there, and it doesn't quite fit with certain things. I'd just cut the thing out. It's just so unnecessary. It's about 40 minutes of Shinji actually sitting down to psychologically evaluate himself. And he's stuck. Yeah, because that's what all anime fans want when they're sitting down to watch a mecha anime. Someone who's trying to find out who he really is. Yeah. If you end it at 24, you could still have the realization that Shinji has reflected on who he is, the fact that he is a pathological people pleaser to the point where he's willing to almost die in a mecha suit every day, goddamn week, to fight off an alien monster, and you could have that and say that by his actions at the end of episode 24, he has overcome part of that, but he understands who he is and he can move forward from there. The ending, the last 2 episodes, is just like weird fragments, including like title card flashes of like kanji on the screen, and then like the translation underneath for me, because that part of it's subtitled, even though I'm watching the dub. Why not just go in and just put the words in English? I don't know. Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but
it's thematic.
They did it. It's authentic.
It's art.
But they have like these flash ups of these questions that keep getting asked by something, and you don't know what it is, and people toss around ideas of what it is. I think it's part of like the programming that's being done through the Evas, and what they're trying to, like, what the real goal of the Eva progress was based on Shinji's dad. I think this was one of his end games, was to have the people in the suits, or the pilots, reflect and focus on themselves to figure out what they really are and how to, you know, be the best soldiers they could be. I think that's all part of it. But they keep flashing up these questions, and it's the same thing of, why do you pilot an Eva? Why do you step in? Why do you sacrifice yourself or put yourself at risk? Is it for others? And for some of them, it's for others. Some of them, but nobody really does it for others. There's always a selfish need, because Shinji likes it when somebody says nice things about him. So Shinji,
he likes being complimented.
Shinji puts himself at risk to get the compliments, because that's the only time his dad ever gives a shit about him. Asuka does it because she never really, her mum went insane and paid attention to doll, and Asuka always wanted to be, you know, she wanted to be the doll. She wanted to be a child in her mother's arms. But she never got that because her mum was mentally ill and hanged herself. And she is just trying to make up, like, she wants to prove that she doesn't need her mum, but ultimately she actually does. She has so many regrets about her mum dying that, she kind of deep down does need her mum. And there's a whole lot of, like, all these different issues going through these guys, and it's like always like a second of animation, a flash of something, second of animation, then something else. And it's just this weird artsy, like, thing that's going on for like 2 episodes of the show. And again, it was like 40 minutes of just this over-analysis of different characters that have been in the show.
It sounds like he's had, because Hideki Anno does a lot of reflection, and this stuff. I mean, the only things I can really compare it to are the Evangelion movies and Shin Godzilla. Yeah. At the end of it, at the end of Shin Godzilla, there is a 3 or 4 minute scene of the main character looking over at Godzilla's frozen body, just reflecting on, should we really have done that? Should we have just let nature run its course? And just thinking, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to inject a little bit of the human questions that anyone would ask, just thinking, did we do the right thing? What's going to happen next? Yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, it's a giant monster movie, or in Evangelion's case, it's a mecha anime.
It's basically a giant monster movie.
Yeah. I mean, no one really... Your average anime fan isn't going to think about the mental status of the pilot. I mean, it's cool that you've got it in there. It's another facet of the show that people can possibly get into, but at the same time, I think ultimately most people are just going to go, I didn't really need that. I would have liked to have seen maybe a final confrontation between Shinji and his dad. Just do a war of words, a proper logical battle between Shinji and his dad. Try and break down barriers that way, instead of just having this, like you said, second of animation, then just flashing questions or kanji or whatever the hell it was.
There's an idea I want to get to later on about why the show is the way it is, and it's related to stuff that happens in the last couple of episodes. But the ending of it is so strange, in that as all the characters are going through the psychological evaluations, it's reflecting on the idea that one of the purposes behind Eva was to build to the point where it's human actualization. The idea that all humans would share a kind of consciousness to become better people. And eventually would basically, because the show is obsessed with gods and becoming gods and what it means to be a god. There's a lot of talk about the idea of sharing it as one kind of collective mind. So you'd be like hooked up to a hive mind, and that hive mind of human minds would be a god. There's a lot of that kind of laced into the show. I was thinking about this and having them all have, like, it's not just Shinji going through this kind of reflective kind of psychological torture. It's Asuka, it's Rei. I think it's Rei. Rei, because the episode that I was talking about, Tears, is Rei 3.
That kind of confused me, because I thought it was just one person, but then someone pointed out to me, that's a clone or something.
I didn't want to spoil it for people watching, but Rei is a clone. There's the original Rei. She dies. She's murdered in the base for the where the Avas are held, and then they start cloning her.
Yeah.
And they can go back and clone her as many times as possible. And the coolest scene in Tears is when they find the vat of like matured Rey bodies. They're just bodies, and they say there's no souls in these things. They're waiting to be used to be the next Rey. And then one of the characters annihilates all of them, and they dissolve, and you see it happen. And it's the tank is filled with orange liquid. The Reys are made out of like purple material, or they look purple. They look like Rey, but from the distance they look purple. And it's like a silhouetted shot of one of the characters holding another one at gunpoint, and then she goes, "I want to end all this," and she just pushes the button, and all the Reys start to dissolve, and it's creepy as fuck. Yeah, I can imagine. Shinji watches all of it as well. Yeah. Shinji just kind of stuck there as like collateral damage. Like, I'm watching hundreds of my friends die simultaneously, just melting into nothingness. Like,
I understand why Shinji might be a bit of a fucked up character.
Yeah, Shinji, he's got his he grows on you a little bit more. Like I did say, he's a whiny little bitch, and he still is a whiny little bitch. He has an entire episode. I think it's episode 20. I think maybe episode 24. Yeah, because after Tears, they introduce a new character, and this is something else I want to talk about. Was there was translation issues with changing over from the original version to the Netflix version, and they retranslated all of it and chose one line to kind of change a little bit. And this was a big issue with LGBT anime fans because they wanted some representation. And one of the characters is not really that sexual, but he does seem to strike up a friendship or a relationship that could be implied to be a little bit gay with Shinji. Shinji goes all in on this, and like he's blushing, and you're like, oh, okay, so Shinji's kind of gay character, he's gay questioning or whatever, he's maybe bi-curious or whatever. Okay, that's cool. But for some reason they focus on the idea that the other character is gay. I'm like, that character was introduced 10 minutes ago. I'm not joking. He's there for one episode. And I was waiting on this. I was talking to another friend about it. I was like, if this is the gay character that represents the gay people in Evangelion, he needs to show up now. Because this was when I had like 5 episodes left to go. I'm like, I'm waiting for this gay character. When does the gay guy show up? I'm waiting for this guy because apparently he's such a big influence on anime going forward. But I think it's just, I'm looking at it now when there have been multiple very straight-faced relationships. Well, I say straight-faced, bad pun, my bad. They've been very honest gay characters on screen. Like with Yuri on Ice, it's about gay relationship through ice dancing. And then there's Banana Fish, where there's homoeroticism like all over the fucking place. I actually haven't seen the show yet, so I don't know if they're actually gay, but people say, oh yeah, it gets pretty goddamn gay sometimes. But apparently it's not a gay relationship, it's just a bit homo-romantic, I guess. I don't know. Some nonsense Tumblr stuff made up.
Yeah, Tumblr will tell you.
But if this character was the only gay representation in anime for the last 20 years, I'd understand why it was such an important character. But see, looking at it now, that is the most weak-ass gay character I've ever seen. That is not a character. He's there for 20 minutes, and he's dead by the end of it. Who gives a shit? He's not some interesting character that's been like thoroughly developed. He's literally there, and you're pretty sure you know he's a bad guy from the get-go. Yeah. Because it turns out he is, and Shinji ends up having to kill him. It's not like a great explanation or a great way of like, it's not like you could explain a gay relationship through this anime, through this one character who's alive for 20 minutes and dies at the end because Shinji pops him like a fucking toothpaste.
Also sounds like this guy was just trying to fucking honeypot Shinji. He was just thinking, alright, I'm going to get close. If he was a villain and dies in the end, it kind of makes you think, maybe he wasn't gay, he was just trying to get close to Shinji, who's maybe a bit fucked up, and that could work on him.
Yeah. I honestly...
I mean, not that sounds fucking horrible, but not that I'm saying gay people are fucked up, but maybe Shinji's that messed up, maybe he can kind of prey on that weakness, make him think, oh, all these other people turning their back on you? I like you, you're cool.
No, it definitely comes across that way, and it's because it happens, the episode... We don't know that Rey's alive at this point, because we don't know she's been recloned just before everything went down and they destroyed all the copies. I think... that was the intention, was that, especially when you consider that, you know, Shinji at this point is like 3 seconds away from just saying fuck it and throwing himself in front of a train. Yeah. He is looking for anyone to latch onto. And there's a guy there who offers to be a good pal, help
he's
out.
Got that Peter Parker syndrome.
It's literally, I've lost everyone I love. I can't find Asuka. My parents are gone. My dad doesn't give a shit about me. I have lost everything. I'm at my lowest point. What can I do? Who can help me? Who do I turn to? oh, this friendly guy just showed up.
Yeah.
I'll just like kind of glom onto him and see where it takes me. And yeah, it's a bit romantic. You can get the feeling from watching it that, yeah, Shinji might be interested in this guy in more than just a friendly way. But at the same time, that's the best representation of gay people in the show. And you throw up an absolute shit fit when Netflix changed the subtitle from I love you to I like you. Come on, guys. A little harder than this. We got to try a little better.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think it goes back to what it comes down to when the show came out.
Yeah.
You're talking early 90s, maybe late 80s.
Early 90s, yeah. I'm saying, like, I'm grading on the curve of stuff I've seen now. I imagine when that was fresh out the box, there would be almost no representation of gay people in anime, and it would have a bigger impact. Yeah. But guys, come on, it's 2019. We've got better. Yeah. We don't need this anymore.
This weird anime from the early 90s isn't your sole representation anymore. You have tons of them. You got gay superheroes. Yeah. Fucking Wonder Woman's gay.
Yeah. But if you were exclusively watching anime and there was nothing else and this was the only thing you had for 20 years, like, I could see you being a bit frustrated, but honestly, it didn't really bother me that much. Although I think the English line of the English version of the line, like the dubbed over version, was something like, "You're worthy of my grace." And I'm like, that's weird. But it does allude to the fact that he's an angel in the show. So I'm like, okay, that was a little bit on the nose. But if that's your translation for I like you, it's a little weird. But it suits his character that he's so weird and off and aloof. Yeah. It does kind of...
Wait, I thought angels were giant monster things. Can they become humans?
They can morph a little bit.
Alright, yeah.
Because at one point, one's literally just a beam of light. And I'm like, okay, how the fuck do you fight a beam of light? Turns out you blow up yourself.
Okay.
That's how Ray dies.
That makes sense. I'll destroy this light by blowing up, technically adding heat and energy and making more light. That could technically... I'm trying to analyse this way too much.
It's a light beam that flies through. Like, she gets stabbed by it. She gets stabbed by light. It sticks halfway through her and then, like, goes to go for her face, and then she grabs it, but then it worms its way through the armor into the angel, and then into her. I don't know exactly how that works. I think they just went, it's a cool tentacle monster, but it's just one big tentacle. That was the only solution they had.
We made a tentacle monster, and I'm sticking with it.
Guys, we have a tentacle monster and lunch in 5 minutes. Are we all happy with the tentacle monster? Can it be made out of light? Yeah, sure, fuck it.
Sure. Who's that guy? Give him a raise.
Sounds good to me. Order a pizza.
The fucking revolutionary. I'll have pizza.
But yeah, the last thing I want to talk about was where I think the show... Like, why I think the show is the way it is. And I think it's... The main thing we look at it and go, oh, it's a mecha anime. And I think that's the point. I think we're supposed to look at this and see a mecha anime and be tricked into watching something that's a little bit deeper than it should be based on the surface level of, oh, it's just people in mechs punching each other and punching weird alien monsters. I think it's supposed to be there as a kind of lure to guide you into a deeper conversation about yourself, self-actualization, depression, and issues with mental health. And I think that's why it's there. And that's why one of the most important lines for me at the end of it is Asuka, who's always yelling at Shinji, calling him an idiot. And I don't think it's a real Asuka. I think it's it's a memory of Asuka or an interpretation of Asuka by whatever is conducting the actualization at the end of the show. Taking what Shinji would expect Asuka to say when he realizes that he doesn't have to give a shit about what people think about him, because that's his problem, is that he wants to be loved so badly because of abandonment issues that he will do anything to help anyone. And then when he says, I don't have to care about what other people think of me, Asuka says, you're just figuring that out. Real motherfucker, really? I think that's the point of the show. I think it is to trick, because we look at it and it looks like a shonen anime. I think it's designed to trick young guys into watching it because it's cool mecha fights. Yeah. And then towards the end, be guided through this weird journey about realizing that you don't have to worry about what other people think of you. You have to just focus on yourself, make yourself happy to overcome kind of depression, because it's a hard subject for, especially back. I mean, we have more conversation about it now than ever, but you wouldn't have had this, say, in the 80s and 90s. Why it belongs in a certain time period is because it forces you to have that conversation, think about what you... Because it is just forcing you to just stop and think about yourself. Yeah. I think that's the point of the show. And that's why I think those last 2 episodes are there just in case you weren't quite picking up on all the little hints going through the show,
all the subtle subtexts.
That Shinji's obsession with making his dad love him has put him into through hell and back. And if you were wondering where the show was going to end, it was just 20 or it's about 40 minutes of Shinji being forced to just think about what he's done in the name of getting his father's love. Where it gets weird though is at the end, everyone literally stands around clapping for him. As soon as he says the phrase, as soon as he just comes to the final conclusion of, oh, I can just be myself. I don't have to worry about anyone else. He stands up from a chair he's been sitting on for the last 40 minutes of the anime, and then the world disappears to show him standing on, or the kind of white of the world disappears and shows him standing on top of a miniature version of the globe with all the cast members just standing around clapping him. Like weird robot clapping in front of him. It's just this all the way through the last 60 seconds of the show, including a penguin, and them all saying, because the penguin shows up back up at the end, apparently he was a major character.
Okay.
I still have no idea how, but he apparently was
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I keep trying to think about it, but I'm like, you don't fit in the show anywhere. Stop it. Stop showing up a goddamn penguin. But yeah, it's just him at the end of the world, realizing he can just be himself, and it's not focusing on others that will make him happy. And everyone's standing around saying, oh, congratulations, you finally figured it out. And then just saying goodbye mum, goodbye dad. And then the subtitles at the end, kanji at the end says, goodbye mother, or I'm sorry mother, and goodbye father. And that's how the show ends. So I'll maybe come back for the next episode having seen the movies. Not the summary movies, but End of Evangelion and Death of Evangelion.
Yeah.
And see if that wraps it up any better. But the actual show itself, holy fuck, what were you doing? End
of Evangelion and Death of Evangelion were Arno coming back saying, I didn't like how I ended the end of the show. I can see why you want to come back and revisit that, because that just seems like such a strange ending. I don't think anybody would be satisfied with that, because I get you've got the emotional payoff of him realising, oh, I don't need to be this person anymore, I can let shit go. And I think nowadays that is a very important message.
Yeah.
Just let shit go, don't be afraid to talk about things. It's got a viable message, but ultimately I think back then and even now people are thinking this isn't the end to an anime that I would want to see.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing they don't really wrap up the Angel threat, they don't wrap up how the Ava units come into play.
There's a whole other shadow organisation that they barely even touch.
Yeah.
They leave all of that lying at the end and just say, well, Shinji dealt with his stuff. I know that based on the description that they'll be having conflicts with the shadow organisation, but I just want to read my tweet. You could seriously play the last 2 episodes of Evangelion at a hipster film festival and clean out the awards. That shit is absolute nonsense. And it is. It's bombardment of psychological images. You could seriously just play at a hipster film festival.
Yeah, you could take that shit to the Cannes or whatever, Sundance, and get all the fucking awards.
You just have to make sure nobody in the room has ever seen any anime before.
Because the minute someone puts their hand up and says, this is just Evangelion, you get them out of there.
Yeah, you just
get that guy.
I'm trying to win things here.
Shut up, dude.
But yeah, the main episodes of the show that actually have the show in action, I think it's to do with the fact that you can learn enough about the characters to learn the lesson of Evangelion by seeing the characters in action. You don't need that last 40 minutes of just nonsense. That it's almost too on the nose. It's like if you got the metaphor already, you'll be stuck there saying, I don't know why I'm watching this. I don't know why I'm sitting there watching Shinji basically just shit himself on a stool for 40 minutes.
That doesn't make sense to me. If you're saying that you picked up on that throughout the show, ultimately the last 2 episodes are just going to be worthless, or even just a recap or almost a beating over the head with what you've already figured out.
Yeah, it's just beating you about the head. I think that's the best way to put it. So I'm hoping that the movies help wrap things up a bit better, finish off the storyline, give me more conclusion than I just the lack of the characters in action. That's what bothered me, I think, about the last couple episodes of the anime. But yeah, I mean, again, from the start I've been saying I can see why this is a classic, because it's earned its place in history, but at the same time, how does it stand up to 2019 anime roster?
Not well.
And I'm sorry, dude. We got a show called Fire Force. It's got wizards that put out fires but also use fire. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. But
wait, hold on.
Yeah,
they put out fires with fire.
I have no idea what's going on, but I saw a guy flying, turbojetting himself, Iron Man style, with fire coming out of his hands while wearing a fireman's hat.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm kind of digging it. But as I say, anime has gone so far out there, and explored so much in the time since Evangelion came out. It's going to be hard to go back and watch it for a lot of younger fans, especially with the seasonal anime releases. You're going to have to take the time out and watch 2 shows worth of content and then stop and have a think about it. In a time where the flow of anime, if you're trying to keep up with it, it's like, trying to swim up a sewage pipe. The non-stop flow of stuff coming at you will push you back out every single time.
I think you get newer, smarter anime every year, because Evangelion was smart and still is smart, because it makes you think it's not just your traditional mecha anime. It has all the trappings of a shonen anime, but there's ultimately other things in there that make it so much more than that. But I think there's other shows that do that better. Yeah. So I don't really think for new anime fans, Evangelion's going to have that much of a draw outside of just, oh, there's the show Evangelion that a lot of people have told me to watch. I think I'm going to go and watch it. But if you're a fan of Evangelion, obviously you'll have that to go back to, and you'll finally have it in an easily obtainable form for you through your Netflix subscription. I just don't really think that Evangelion has the staying power that it used to. I don't think it's...
I don't think it's as necessary as it used to be, but I do think it definitely deserves the tip of the hat for being the first one through the door, 20 years ago, to make an anime about mental health while also showing, people kicking each other in giant robots and shit. So, yeah. Until then, we could just watch Iron-Blooded Orphans again.
Yeah, we could, yeah.
That actually sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, Iron-Blooded Orphans is a fucking great show. But I don't know how I'm going to segue from this, so I'm just going to put a pin on that, and I wanted to ask you about the new Bond film. I wanted to ask you about the new female 007.
Can I ask you, did you read the full article?
I did read the full article.
Good, because everyone who read that title
has been eating their own arsehole.
Clickbaited to fuck.
Yeah, James Bond can't be a fucking woman. Oh, James Bond's not going to be a woman.
A vagina on my James Bond, not in my likely.
What's next? A female doctor? Wait, that already happened. It still happens. Females get doctorates every day, dog. No, a lot of people that I spoke to, because I like to talk about films with people on a regular basis. We fucking built a podcast around talking about films and shit. A friend of mine messaged me saying, dude, have you seen this? 007's going to be a woman. I went, yeah, but James Bond's still in the movie. Did you read the fucking article? I've said that so many times to people this week. Just, did you read the article? Oh, right. So James Bond's still going to be James Bond. Yeah.
Someone else is going to be 007. Yeah. He might become 007 again by the end of it. It's unlikely, but it could happen.
007 is a rank that you can pass to people.
It's almost like it's a code name in a spy agency.
Like a job. And just it's a black woman as well. How dare they? How dare they? What? They're doing something new. James Bond is still in the show. Yeah. He's still going to be in the movie, and the whole point of the new the whole purpose of the new 007 is to pull him out of retirement for a job. Yeah.
So that I would say that the article I read was the exact same. It's this person will be introduced as 007, and it's going to be a popcorn drop moment for people. And I'm like, first of all, how stupid do you think people are? Yeah. Wait. Bond's a black woman, what? And just boom, there'll be like a head explosion of just idiots just not understanding the idea that 007 is a rank, and she is not James Bond. Yeah, she's someone else who is 007.
Yeah, it was like when people got really annoyed at the end of Endgame when spoilers, Steve Rogers passes off the shield to Sam Wilson instead of
Bucky.
Aye, haircut Bucky. Cut the wig, man. It's just so bad. A lot of people are saying, oh, that's fucking bullshit. They've got so much more chemistry with Bucky. Bucky should be Captain America. Bucky's whole thing about Bucky's whole character arc is that he doesn't think he's worthy of all the praise that he's getting off these people. He's done some horrible shit. Yeah. He doesn't think he's ready to lift up the shield. Sam Wilson has been pulling his fucking weight. Yeah. He tracked down Bucky. He brought everybody back from the... He was basically guiding people during the battle.
He is flying in a wingsuit, doing bombing runs on demons from other dimensions.
Exactly.
He is worthy of the shields. I'm sorry. Shut the fuck up.
Calm the fuck down.
I read the article and just I cannot believe that there are people who fell for that clickbait, and I think it really highlights how dangerous clickbait can be.
Exactly. It's very...
Some people out there are just not smart.
No, it's very much out there because people still use clickbait, and one of my favourite YouTubers, Phil DeFranco, a while ago, I think he's kind of dumbed it down now.
He's taken away, he uses certain phrases that are used by clickbait people. He's not as bad, he's definitely as bad as he used to be.
Yeah. But his whole thing was clickbait kind of needs to happen because you want to get views.
Yeah.
You want to lure people and you want to bait them in, and it's kind of something that
his thumbnail art's technically better because he's not using like bikini models. For it, but he is doing a lot more of like the surprise face. Oh my god, you won't believe what happened to this person. And I wish it would stop for something like him who is trying to be a bit more of a serious journalist.
I think we're going to see it in the case of the Franco. We're going to see it just completely disappear in a couple of months, maybe a year.
Yeah,
because it's not a good look. If you're tricking people into reading your articles, it just lowers your reputation. Just on the subject of clickbait, when they change a character's gender, or anything like that, which is something I know I'm going to get a shit ton of flack for saying this, but it's something I wish they would do less.
Right.
Because to me, it shows so much of a lack of creativity in writing. Just think, okay, Captain America, Steve Rogers is now a woman because we need to revolutionise the character. No, just make a new Captain America. Make her female. That's all you have to do. I mean, you had Peggy Carter.
You could have a new superhero.
Yeah.
You could also, like, if you've got a good reason, like, I want to have Captain America be a woman for this reason. I'm like, okay, you got a good reason. Let's go with it. Let's run with it.
Yeah, just go with it. Don't make Steve Rogers a woman for no apparent reason, because you've got gender fluid characters like the Doctor.
Yeah.
From Doctor Who.
I was trying to remember where the Doctor came from in like Marvel movies. I'm like, who's the Doctor in Marvel?
No, the Doctor from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Currently, she can change her gender because that's part of the Time Lord physiology. Thor, because in the current comic books canon, that was a hard sentence to say right now. Jane Foster picked up Mjolnir. She's currently Thor.
Right. But
that's all changed because the Odin's son is now worthy again. So I don't know how that puts her or leaves her powers wise. But she was Thor for a while.
Right.
And it wasn't a case of, Thor Odin's son is now a woman. No, Thor is still there because Thor's powers can be transferred.
Thor the Odin's son is still Thor the Odin's son. He's just not worthy of the hammer.
Yeah.
But because Jane Foster can pick up the hammer, that means we now have Jane Foster as Thor. Yeah. But you're not getting female Thor. You're getting Jane Foster, the established character, as Thor.
Yeah.
Which in itself is an interesting character.
Yeah, and it's fine. I just don't like it when they...
It's like when a different character picks up the mantle of being Batman. Like, you have Bruce Wayne's Batman, then you have Dick Grayson. You have Tim Drake. Everybody's had a shot at being Batman. Yeah. But there are certain characters... A lot of people are saying, why isn't... what was her name? Barbara Gordon. Why has she never been Batman? I went, because there are several lengthy comic book arcs of her saying why she would never want to be the Batman. Yeah. Dick Grayson doesn't want to be... No one wants to be the Batman. That's the whole curse of Bruce Wayne. But then you've got... People are saying characters like Batwoman are... What's the word? Transphobic. Right.
How is it transphobic? Their whole stance was because no one wants to see Bruce Wayne become a woman. They give us a character like Batwoman to kind of satiate those people.
And you gotta say, no, that character's made in the 50s when people just didn't want to talk about that type of thing.
Yeah, and it's not... I wouldn't say it's transphobic. I just see them as people saying, okay, we're fine with Bruce Wayne being a woman, but if you... Bruce Wayne being a man, but if you want to see another... you see another Bat family character on par with Batman to an extent, we would just make a new character, and I'm fine with that. But just don't take established characters along the lines of, we'll take Miles Morales Spider-Man. Just we're going to make him female. Why?
Yeah,
I get you want to appeal to a wider audience, but you've got so many other female Spider characters. Why would you need to take Miles Morales and make?
All right, so I see where you're going. It's more to do with the fact that why would you waste time just flipping the gender switch?
Yeah, just
when you can create a new character, have them be on par with the existing character, give them their own story, so they're not trying to like shoehorn things in.
Yeah, so they're not just trying to show a random gender swap for no reason.
Yeah, like I kind of get it a bit more because when you started, I was like,
I took a very ranty tirade.
You went in hard and then just went, wait, I gotta walk it back a little bit and explain. But yeah, I get it now. It's more to do with them. Why not develop a bigger cast of characters?
Yeah,
and that's the thing as well is, if you have a bigger cast of characters, you can have those characters interact in new ways and learn from each other and grow and show more of the human experience, even if it is through the use of superpowers. Yeah. You can have more happen and you can do more, learn more, teach more in a way that you could explain to people rather than just say, and now this person's a girl. Because money, I guess?
Yeah, because most of it is because of failing comic book sales. They just think, right, Wolverine's not really working out, so what can we do with Wolverine? We could try a gender swap, or you could take an established character and make her Wolverine. because you've got X-23.
I was going to say, like, Wolverine, if Wolverine's not doing well, how do you make another type of Wolverine type character X-23?
Yeah.
It's a different character, different backstory, different suffering, different origin, different things, but still, again, it's a Wolverine archetype played through a different character.
Yeah.
And it's more interesting that way than just having, and now Wolverine has tits.
Yeah, I just think that's ultimately the laziest thing in writing. Just think, okay, you've got this established character that was previously male, or established character that was previously female. Fuck it, let's just gender swap them. Why? Yeah. Let's see what happens. No, don't do that, man. It might just be my personal taste, and I'm probably, if I did say this in public, I'd probably get a shit ton of flack for it, but I just ultimately don't like it.
I don't care enough about certain characters enough to see when they get swapped or when they get changed. There's just 'cause it's not my genre. Like if stuff changes, I don't really care that much about it unless there's no way it would directly impact me. I know I just have a level of detachment from these things.
I think ultimately for the James Bond thing for me, I don't really care enough about it, but it's just people were getting so up in arms about James Bond.
It's just so funny. It's so stupid. How did you fall for it that quickly?
Yeah, did you not read the article?
I feel like it's a plant. I feel like that wasn't the article. Like James Bond is still going to be 007. They just wanted to show you how butthurt people get about things. There'll be like an article. There'll be something like published. Somebody will just take all the metadata of like all the people who tweeted outrage and offence and stuff, and they'll bring it back and be like, "You guys got really bent out of shape about this whole fucking black woman 007 thing."
Yeah, Daniel Craig's just going to show up and go, "Guys, the fuck."
I feel like it was Daniel Craig.
Explain yourself, like, man.
What did you like? Is this a big deal? I'm sorry, really, it's this big a deal.
Yeah, you guys are getting this pissed off about it. I think it would be fucking hilarious if Daniel Craig himself just appeared and went, "Guys, I'm cancelling this movie. You do not fucking deserve this."
Oh, it'd be great. I'd love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Craig. And he just walks out. No, don't cheer. Don't sit down.
Sit down.
Daddy wants a word. Right now, what did you do?
you guys fucked up. People are pissed off.
Think about it. We said Bond might be a black woman, and y'all got butthurt. Really?
First and foremost, can y'all guys not read? Because no woman was getting pissed off about this. You motherfucking dudes just dragging our name through the goddamn dirt.
Just Daniel Craig walks out on stage, arms folded, all the applause stops, and he just leans into the mic. Did you read the article, you morons?
No, what he does, he brings out a chair. There's a microphone in front of him on the stand, like a comedian. He brings out a stool, flips out a paper. I'm going to butcher the name. It's like Lashana Lynch is going to be playing 007 in the next James Bond movie in order to find James Bond, played by Daniel Craig. Fold, walk off stage.
I think it's just funnier to have him sit there going, "Did you read the article?" And then he has to wait for everyone in the audience to read the article.
Open your phones, I'll wait.
Open your phones, I'll wait. It's literally 200 words. Yep. Fucking go.
If you can't read 200 words in one sitting, take your Adderall, then go back.
Try it again.
I will wait. Yeah, I just love to see him doing his finest dad's, not even folded arms, hands on the hips, just dad staring at people. You realise I'm not angry, just very disappointed.
Comes out in khaki shorts and white trainers. Socks up to the mid-thigh.
He's got barbecue dogs in his hand. He's got an apron on his dad's grill. Thick as hell Ray-Ban sunglasses. I was having a barbecue. Y'all fucked up.
It was a ridiculous situation, and it was a lot of fun to watch people.
Yeah, that chaos machine just unfold.
And it's the usual thing. It's the thing happens.
Oh shit!
People misunderstand it. There's outrage, and then people react to the outrage. And I notice more and more. I think we've talked about this before. I see more people reacting to the outrage than the actual outrage itself.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that kind of feels, because I see a lot of people responding with the meme of like, "You guys are really butthurt about this," and I never see the people who are actually butthurt about it anymore. You've got to really dig. I don't know what it is. I just think that there's things that are pushing down the outrage, which understandable. I wouldn't want to see outrage comments of people like screaming that Bond should be played by an N-word or whatever the fuck people were yelling about.
Yeah.
But I would like to see some of it so that I can gauge the actual temperature of the room. I want to see some of the outrage and I want to see some of the backlash, because I'm interested in seeing both sides. But that's just me, because I want to poke and prod at things and be like, why is this broken? Why does this work? Why are people butthurt? I want to see things more than just... I imagine if you're an average Twitter user, you want to see maybe your side reflected as opposed to both sides.
Yeah, you want to see the source and you want to see the origin of all this thing, because I, like you, seen maybe 2 or 3 people saying James Bond has always been a man. Even back in the books, James Bond was one Scottish dude played by, or it's meant to be the same person in each book. Yada yada yada. And when it gets to the point of him finally retiring, it's another dude that replaces him. They're ruining our legacy.
It's a more Scottish guy that replaces him.
It's a more Scottish guy. They go from Sean Connery to James fucking McAvoy. But seeing this shit on Twitter makes me realise that social media is a huge fucking mistake, because people can voice their outrage no matter how dumb it is, because people will just go, James Bond can't be a woman because James Bond's a man. But James Bond isn't a woman. James Bond isn't going to be a woman.
007 is going to be a woman.
Do you
for
people
like
understand
10 minutes.
words? She's going to be in the movie, but she's not going. Her name will not be James Bond.
Yeah. How weird
I don't know if you
know.
know this, but James isn't a woman's name.
I just talking about like the dumb, like vaguely racist comments. I just want to ask about the Trump thing. Have you seen it?
Trump thing?
There's a group of 4 kind of upstart congresswomen that are,
Okay.
I say upstart in the best way, because they're just out there like they want to fight their corner, and they're gonna like talk all the shit they want to get it done.
Yeah,
I dig it. It's Alexander Ocasio-Cortez.
yeah.
And
Who I recently discovered. I've been following her on Twitter for a while.
oh, right.
Did not know that. I think I'm probably just scrolling and went, oh, that's pretty funny. Follow.
Yeah. And I think what happened is that Trump obviously came in with his style of talking to people, and Cortez brings it back hard to him. I don't disagree. I don't agree with everything she says, and some of it I'm like, that's a little weird. But at the same time, she's very funny to watch her like just shoot shit at Trump, like not even politely saying, "Mr. President, I do believe you're wrong." It's excuse me, I was born here, motherfucker. Trump basically just said that he noticed that the 4 women who are constantly berating him on social media and whatever, and challenging all of his decrees as president, should basically go back to their shithole countries and try and fix them. 3 of the 4 women are American. The last one is a refugee who entered the US legally and is like a fully American citizen and to the point of being a congresswoman. Like, I'm sorry, but do you understand that these are all American, Trump?
Yeah.
I looked at it, I said, this is so dumb. And I was browsing Reddit last night, I couldn't sleep, just going through Reddit.
Yeah.
And on the politics subreddit was people talking about the fact that even Ronald Reagan was liberal enough to know that the American dream is to be an American and anyone can do it. The quote from him is, you can travel to, you can go and live in Germany, you can go and live in Turkey, you can go and live in Germany, but you will never be Japanese, a Turk, or German. Only in America can you move to America, live as an American, and become an American. That's the fucking point of America, you moron. When the liberals are quoting Reagan, shit's fucked. That's how fucked American politics are now, and it's hilarious. I have no idea what's going to happen next, but just
again,
watching him shoot the shit is brilliant.
We're clearly talking about a man who was unstable enough to try and ban Iron Brew from his own Scottish golf course.
I'm sorry.
How
sir,
dumb
can
can you fucking be? The one of many things that Scottish people cling on to is the taste of Iron Brew. Even when the sugar tax kicked in, and they had to alter the recipe.
They altered the
bit.
recipe for original Iron Brew. It
People
didn't
still
taste
drink
the
it.
same. Yeah.
People still drink it with a bucket load. I had to explain the sugar tax to someone.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, but Coca-Cola can still afford to." That's because Coca-Cola sells to every country on the planet.
Yeah.
Bar sells to 4 countries on the planet. Can you do the mental maths?
Yeah.
But people still turn out and buy shit tons of Iron Brew because it is so ingrained in Scottish culture. Yeah. It is a hangover cure. It is a mixer. You can cook with the fucking thing. You can make ice cream with it. There is Iron Brew flavoured condoms. Need I say more? Enough said.
There's
this
Iron
tangerine
Brew flavoured cheesecake.
Iron Brew flavoured cheesecake, which sounds delicious. But it would kill you with a slice.
Yeah.
Enough said about Iron Brew. Scottish people love it. The fucking human Whatsit has tried to ban it in his own Scottish golf course. Can you see why this man cannot be trusted?
He's not smart enough to turn to the manager of his establishment and say, "Do you think this is a bad idea?" At which point, Jimmy turns around and goes, Aye. It will be a bad idea. They'll get pissed about it.
Managers just sitting there stocking Iron Brew going, boss, we're not doing it.
I'm sorry, boss.
I'm not
This is
taking the heat
happening.
for this. He's sitting there cracking open glass bottles, giving it to people, just going, drink it.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's at a golf course. It's for a very certain class of people.
Yeah, it's for a certain clientele.
Even then, I
They're still
guarantee
gonna
you,
want a nice
there's
cold
going
Iron
to be
Brew.
a decent sales rep there going, an Iron Brew would be pretty nice right now.
Yeah, how many people are just going to go, oh, we're going to go on the golf course. We're going to play a few rounds. Would you want a drink of water? Nah, I'm feeling something a bit sugary. Cola? Nah, I'll have an Iron Brew. Guarantee there's so many people going, no, I'm driving, I won't have an alcoholic drink. Just give me an Iron Brew.
Yeah. You got to understand
You don't realise how popular it is in this country.
I've been thinking a lot about the idea of things being default. Like, the default setting is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The default setting for a drink in Scotland is Iron Brew.
Yeah.
Almost subconsciously.
Yeah, without even thinking. Because I haven't drank Iron Brew in years because all the... I mean, it might have changed now, but I think all the sugar and the colourings and stuff back then gave me a killer migraine.
Yeah.
So I might try it again soon just to see if it doesn't
Well,
give me
there's
the
a
same kind of-
sugar-free version.
Yeah, and then there's the extra.
There's the extra. Well, that's the thing that you were talking about. Like, the sugar tax came in and the Iron Brew price rocketed. They took down sugar content to kind of get it under the limits. They could sell it for the same price as before. And then when the flavour changed because of the lack of sugar, they made a chemically altered version called Iron Brew Extra, for those of you not in Scotland, which is supposed to be, it's chemically designed to be the exact same taste as good old Iron Brew.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did that without ramping the sugar back up, but I guarantee you it's not going to be good for you in 20 years.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is a nation of people who do not give a shit.
Yeah, we don't really care much if it tastes good in the meantime, or if it's established, or like the default setting, like Colin said, people aren't going to give a fuck. It's just, I've drank Iron Brew for years. I mean, my uncle was in the newspaper for how many bottles of Iron Brew and shit he drinks a week. It's like 18 to 20 bottles a week. I think 18. I think it may be more than that. It was like 100 tins of Iron Brew every 3 days or something. He was not a well man.
That's 30 litres every how many days, did you say?
I'm probably just pulling numbers out of my arse here, but it was every 3 or 4 days or something. He was drinking that many.
10 litres a day, so about 5 big bottles. So yeah, I mean, in that terms, I struggle to consider how you would contain that much fluid.
Oh, I think he was just had the incontinence pants on all the time, just underneath his trousers.
Just dyed orange.
Just dyed orange to hide the constant piss stains. But yeah,
that was weird. I don't know where we went with that tangent, but yeah.
No, I think we're talking about Donald Trump and how he's
the protest stuff and all that, and
pulling
and just
dickheaded moves against his own countrywomen.
Countrywomen, yeah,
his own women from his own fucking country.
Yeah.
And then he just thinks that's a good idea. Also, I think this last year he tried to ban it from Ayrshire, and I'm pretty sure his manager stepped up and went, "It's not going to fucking happen. You can't ban Iron Brew in Scotland. You're not in America. You can't ban it because you think because they won't reveal the recipe. You're in Scotland. People will just go, I don't care what's in it. It tastes good.
Tastes like freedom.
Tastes like freedom. Tastes like iron girders for the Clyde.
Tastes like freedom with a rolling R in the middle of it. Okay.
Tastes like freedom."
Right, we're back, and we're going to quickly kind of push things towards the end of the podcast, just so it doesn't get away. I had 2 quick things to ask you about. It's dark, but 13 Reasons Why has recently been announced that they're taking away one of the key scenes of the first season of the show. Mm-hmm. The show is about suicide. Yeah. And they graphically depict a young woman killing herself in the bathtub by slitting her wrists. And they had it up there for about 2 years, and just as they're going back to kind of launch season 3, they have announced that they're going to take away the suicide scene from season 1. So they're going to go back and edit it out. So it's going to cut from there's a moment of her in front of a mirror, kind of hyping herself up, kind of getting herself ready for the end, and then they show her slipping into the bath, cutting both her wrists, and holding there for a long time. It is graphic. It is about 30-45 seconds, and I gotta say it's kind of unsettling watching it as I watched it was 25, as someone who is a 25-year-old guy, no relation, knowing that they're watching a fictional dramatized TV show about suicide. It was still unsettling to watch. I can't imagine how it feels being a young person, especially a young person with that kind of emotion or those kind of feelings about suicide. Cannot be easy to watch that at all. No. So when they say they were pulling it, I understand it.
Yeah, I can see why, especially when you want to tread this fine line of suicide awareness. Talk to the friend that's maybe feeling a bit off. Check in with people. Don't sit on the sidelines type of thing. You don't want to glorify it, and that kind of seems like what I was doing. They're focusing on it maybe a bit too much.
Here's the thing though, and they were actually initially when the show started, they were accused of glorifying suicide. To which I say, based on the discussion earlier, like, did you read the article?
Yeah.
Did you see the fucking show? There was nothing glamorous about that shot.
Yeah.
It's not artsy. It's not a quick flick of the wrist and she's drifting off. She has to dig into herself with a razor blade, pulls out of it for she takes 2 attempts to do it in the same shot, and there is no music playing. There's no nothing. It is just a solid camera shot of her dying in the bathtub, and it feels horrific. The idea that this is glorifying suicide, holy fuck! Did you see the fucking show?
Yeah.
Is my response to that. And the one concern I have though, I understand why they're taking it out, and if that's going to be the published version from now on is going to be without the suicide, I do think it's a bit unsettling that they are removing it entirely from the public, because I think it belongs in there. Because I will say, although the show itself isn't great, doesn't handle all the mental health issues with the care and attention it deserves.
Yeah,
it's a bit high school drama-esque rather than a deep, thorough discussion of mental health issues. At the same time, it's the only show that had the balls to do it in the first place.
Ultimately, I think it helps the show along, though, because there were always interesting reasons why it was all about the high school girl that couldn't take the pressures of high school, and she took that way out. Yeah,
she's the victim of a lot, not bullying in a class sense, sexual harassment, sexual assault, that level of bullying.
Yeah.
And every day of her life, is shit, basically.
Yeah. And it's a good way of highlighting it, because growing up, I got bullied and stuff as well. I never took it to that degree, but there have been certain moments where just the mental health issues have crept in, and to see a show that's finally discussing about or talking about it, even to the degree where it's just high school kids talking about it, is a good positive thing. If you want a deep, thorough discussion about it, I think that's what you take it from. You watch that show and you start the discussion yourself with other people, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want, face to face preferably,
with a registered professional.
Yeah, and I think if that's what helped people get to that stage, it's done its job as far as I'm concerned.
Netflix is still quite happy with the idea that they've actually started their conversation with a lot of people, and it's prompted conversations with families who might watch it together or all be watching it around the same time and discuss this type of thing, and they're saying that they're actually quite happy they have this legacy of starting a bit of a conversation with the show. But at the same time, they've now said that if they find any re-uploads, they're working with as many platform content platforms that they can find to work around algorithms, that if there's any depiction of the scene, if anyone re-uploads it, they're going to crack down hard.
Yeah.
I would prefer, if the scene has to go for taste, I get it. But I think you should still be able to opt in to see the show. You shouldn't have to opt out.
Yeah.
I get that you wouldn't, the default should not be.
Yeah, the default should be without the scene.
But you should still be able to have it there. Not for really morbid reasons, but because I think part of the show's acclaim was the brass balls it takes to show that type of content. Because it's disturbing, it's horrific, it's not fun to watch at all.
No.
But it was a strange idea that you should just take it away.
Yeah. I think, for my money, I think they keep it. If they kept it in, it would show people that, fair enough, you might think that suicide is your only option, but you're not prepared to actually go through with the act, and this is what the act looks like.
And then the preceding, or the following 5 minutes, where it's just her mum finding the body.
Yeah.
Again, it's one camera shot, it's one visceral reaction of a mother holding her dead daughter, and you're like, holy fuck! If you watch that show and walk away thinking suicide's the answer, you need serious professional help.
I think you make your first appointment with a therapist.
Yes. And there's no way you could, again, have you seen the show is my only response to the idea it glamorizes the idea that suicide's the answer. I think it's a weirdly uninformed opinion. I mean, I know it's coming from some people with serious pedigree in mental health, but at the same time, there's no way you can consider that glamorous. And I find it strange that the idea is complete scorched earth for one of the most haunting scenes in television.
Yeah, I think when people are saying that it's glamorizing suicide, I think they take that as it's on screen
Yeah.
It's shot in a certain way. You see, it's just a solid camera shot.
Yeah.
Maybe some
Pretty
people
much once she's in the bath, it is just a shot from the foot of the bath to her at the other end.
Yeah, maybe they see that as them shooting it in an artsy way. It's all about interpretation, really. But
Yeah.
I don't see that just from your description, because I haven't seen 13 Reasons Why for my own personal reasons because what happened right about the time that show came out. It was eerie timing.
Yeah.
For me, as concerns something that happened in one of my college classes. I never really watched it because it cut a bit too close to the bone. But just from that description, I wouldn't think, oh right, that's an option. No, if I'm having any kind of thoughts like that, I'd go and seek help.
Yeah.
And
I think there was a lot of people who would be in a similar situation where they'd say, I don't want to watch the show right now. It's too close, too personal. Tragedies happen to a lot of people at different times in their lives. There's no way you could predict something and let it out and just have it be accepted by everyone. For some people, it would be too close and cut too close to the bone for some people. But I do think preserving it as it should be there and then to show it to people in the future, it's I'd say that's a bit more a priority than... I mean, if you've got the option to allow people to opt out that scene or have to opt into the scene, it should be preserved as it's originally intended, just to be there and be preserved. Because I can't imagine it was an easy thing to make that shot and to produce it and to make the call and say. But I think throwing it away and saying it's done, it's never coming back, it's gone, is a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, it'd be a tough choice to include it, but like I said, it is something that almost would scare people straight, in a sense. Not in a sense of this is what happens, this is what you'll go through, but just to make people think there are other options. Yeah, like just don't take what would be said by some people as the easy way out. Yeah, do the legwork, go and see a professional. Even something as simple as talking to a close friend or something like that. Do fucking gangbusters for you.
But if you watch something a little bit better, there's a bit more cheery. I was going to talk about the Bash Bros Experience, which is a musical written by the Lonely Island. Yeah.
Is that their latest album or something?
I don't know what the hell it is. I went looking for how they would describe it, and they listed it as being a visual poem. And I'm like, okay, that's a bit artsy and wanksy, but it works. Yeah. And it centers around the idea of... Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire, who were baseball players in the 80s, juiced out their fucking minds.
Yeah. Jose Canseco using steroids has had no knock-on effects. He's a completely sane man. Completely sane man with one of the best Twitters on the planet. Funniest fucking thing you'll ever fucking read.
If you think Alex Jones is high, hold on to your beer. Yeah. And
Jose Canseco's transcendent.
Have you seen just before this start talking about Bash Bros? Have you seen Pop Star Never Stop Never Stopping? It's their Justin Bieber parody.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's an hour-long mockumentary based around Andy Samberg basically becoming or going through Justin Bieber's weird rise to fame. It's really funny. I think it's a good laugh. It's worth a look.
I'm not a fan of Andy Samberg though.
Then these two things will not be up your street, so I'm just going to skim through it. But the whole thing is weirdly artsy in that there's, when I say visual poem, when I say it would be visually artsy and wanky and stuff like that. The majority of it is just their songs. Like each bit is a song. Like each part of the life that they want to talk about is a song. And it's then split up. Each song is split up between a 10 to 15 thing of Andy Samberg as Jose Canseco walking around in a forest, like reflecting on, basically on like a really weird like spirit trip or whatever. Like he's taking in some like really good LSD or some shit, and just out in the woods reflecting on his life as Jose Canseco. But it's really weird. If you want to laugh, if you don't want to watch a girl kill herself in a bathtub and you want to waste half an hour, I'd say give it a go. And actually, it's directed by Mike Diva. Mike Diva's a YouTuber. Which is kind of cool. I quite like when those guys jump over to other mediums and get a bit more kind of.
He did make that video. I think it was meant to be a Japanese advert for something that had Megatron from Transformers Prime, but with Donald Trump's head. He had to animate that.
Well, he actually also. I knew him from playing Bruce Lee in Epic Rap Battles of History.
That's Mike Diva?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
When he goes up against Clint Eastwood, I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good rap as well.
Actually, did you see Epic Rap Battles' new video? Came out a couple of days ago. George Carlin versus Richard Pryor. Yeah, it's a bit odd, but it's not just those two.
Okay.
It spirals off. I'll give you the list. It's with George Carlin, Joan Rivers, Bill Cosby. And yes, it does go to that area of the drugs. Well, the drugs and the pudding. And when you see Hazard's playing Bill Cosby, you'll probably get a good giggle out of it. I'm not spell it for you.
He's going to be busy. The drink's going to be fizzy.
And we'll be all getting busy. The drink's going to be fizzy. Where the fuck did you get that? Oh no, Dom, that can't be in there. That's not allowed to be in there. That's a no thought. Well, I was looking for an episode title. I think we got it.
we gonna be busy. The drink's gonna be fizzy.
I can't be bothered telling you the rap battle ends with Robin Williams. God damn it. But it's good. I mean, I didn't think I was going to enjoy Joan Rivers for a verse, but it was fucking funny. I think
you can't forget that Joan Rivers was a really good comedian, but most of her comedy was just fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Like, she throws it bangers like she's fucking
if I
savage.
get one more facelift, my face is just going to split open like a demogorgon.
I love the idea that some like this thing is most of these guys are old comedians. These are comedians from like I never really watched George Carlin up until a couple of years ago. Dude's fucking savage. I love it.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor, I loved his Sunset Strip.
George Carlin's bit about the words that you can't say on television.
He was arrested for that.
Fucking gold.
He was arrested for that in Massachusetts. I'm like, who the fuck arrests a comedian for naughty words?
In Boston.
It might not be in Massachusetts now I think about it. I think it might be in like outside of Boston. But like Bill Cosby, bit fucking awkward. But again, like somewhere out there's a kid who's never seen Robin Williams do stand up.
Yeah.
And I like the idea
depressing.
that ERB did something and was like, look at all of this comedy.
Yeah.
Like everyone's a fucking banger.
Yeah, that's a comedy pedigree right there.
I mean, Bill Cosby is not so much a comedian as the joke nowadays, but
yeah, like
it's good to have something in there. Yeah,
his early comedy was apparently something to watch or something to listen to.
Yeah, and so I mean, I loved it. I think you'll really enjoy it when you go through. You're like, God damn, it's this weird kind of comedy nostalgia.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, it's a shame that we're comedy nostalgia about stuff we grew up with. But, yeah. With that in mind, showstopper.
Yep, let's go for it.
You're gonna hate this one.
Okay,
it's about suicide too.
Oh, okay.
We have a theme for today's episode.
Yep.
And the drink's getting fizzy. It's a different kind of fizzy, but you know, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Now, back a couple of years ago, there was a story about a man named Roy Conrad, or Conrad Roy. I forget which name goes. Conrad Roy. And Conrad Roy took his life by carbon monoxide poisoning in his own car. However, the story get kind of weird when it turns out when authorities took his phone, opened it up, saw text messages from a woman named Michelle Carter. Michelle Carter was convincing him to commit suicide. Do you remember the story in any way?
Yeah, it sounded familiar. But I can't
it was
really
an old Philip
100%.
DeFranco show that covered it way back in the day. But basically, the showstopper here is that this court case is still going on trial and is filing an appeal to the Supreme Court. Because, I'm sorry, I'm going to just quickly use the phrase, that bitch, Michelle Carter, believes it was her First Amendment rights to tell Conrad Roy to kill himself. Not only that, she's also pleading the Fifth Amendment for the right to due process because she did it digitally. Because she wasn't physically there to encourage his suicide.
Okay, but she still was a contributing factor to his death.
Yes, and I'm not saying like this is not the usual like kind of Xbox Live chat of go kill yourself, faggot, you suck, you know, you fucking died in the team. It's not that kill yourself. It is a series of prolonged texts, engagements, encouraging his self-harm and eventual suicide. And she thinks she should be allowed to do that under the First Amendment. I'm sorry, but there's always a lot of thorny issues around the First Amendment free speech for the US because it's so fundamental. It's the one they put before the guns, and they fucking love the guns. To quote Bill Maher, but I think the kill yourself one through text messages, like maybe we need a bit of context on that one. I don't know if that's the next fire in a crowded theatre, but at the same time, grade A cunt material from that Michelle Carter. I know she just doesn't want to go to prison. Nobody does.
No one wants to go to prison, but at the same time, if you don't want to go to prison, don't tell a guy to kill himself.
Yeah. For a series of like months.
Yeah, don't try. Fuck that person.
So yeah, I mean that's in an episode filled with suicides. That is the worst possible fucking story I could like find this week, and didn't actually intend for the show to turn out this way. Most of those weird stories have happened in the last 40 hours, and I just saw that one had cropped up earlier in the week. I was like, oh, that's because I remember seeing it. I remember hearing the original case, and then seeing that story come up again. I was like, oh, that bitch. Oh, she's still at it again. Yeah, I just to the family of Conrad Roy. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are going through watching all this go through courts and having to be at like witness testimonies for all this shit, but all my sympathy in that. Yeah,
definitely all the sympathy to the family of the Conrad or Roy Conrad or Conrad Roy,
whichever way. I'm sure it's Conrad Roy. Yeah,
Mr. Roy. If any lawyer out there is looking for something, you want to pay it forward, you want to be that good guy, do this case for free and make sure this horrible fucking cunt goes to prison for as long as you can convince the judge that she needs to go to prison. Just get rid of her.
Yeah, that is a garbage pile of a human being.
Just a massive old shit pile of a human being.
So she has ultimately broken the cardinal rule of Gibberish Podcast, which is don't be a dick. So if you'd like to join us in our crusade of not being a dick to people, follow us on Twitter at Gibberpish, and then contact the show if you'd like to at gibberpishpodcast@gmail.com. Soon-to-be.org.
Soon-to-be.org. The application is in. Crayon bitches. In the meantime, I've been Colin Graham. Before we go, we got a message from Son of Korax.
Oh.
His message said he listened to the Stranger Things episode, but he assumed that because we didn't discuss it, we didn't see the post-credit scene.
The post-credit
scene for Stranger Things season 3.
It's been a while. I don't remember off the top of my head. I would need to check it out.
If you want to go and check it out, by all
means,
go
for it.
It's the bit where the Russians feed the guy to the demon.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the reason why we didn't discuss it is because it's pretty good. It's a setup for the next season. We want people to experience that firsthand, not have it be spoiled very poorly by.
We didn't outright state that it was the post-credit scene, but we did actually discuss it. If you remember back, we were talking about this stuff about like what goes on with the wider world of Stranger Things now that the American operation shut down under Hawkins, and we were talking about the fact that the Russians do have a Demogorgon.
Yep,
we did mention it, so we just didn't state that it was the post-credit scene. We probably should have given it, but again, that was a whole like spoiler-free episode.
I think we just got caught up in discussing. Dude, did you see this cool thing? Did you see that cool thing? Yeah. Dude,
the mullet, dude. But yeah, we did see the post-credit scene. I just can't remember what it was, but yeah, the Gorgon, the guy being fed to the Gorgon, the terror on the actor's face is very, very believable,
very convincing. And there's the last thing to leave you on. My theory is that the American that they're talking about isn't Hopper. I think it's Papa from the first 2 seasons because he's not dead.
Ooh.
And that's one to grow on from Uncle Dom. See you next time.
See you next time on the Gibberish Podcast. But thank you very much, Son of Courts, for tweeting to us. We'll try and read more of those comments out if we get more stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.